Suns. Denver down 3-1 in a hotly contested series. Anscape's Justin Tinsley says Denver should lean on their stars to get back in the series.
But if you're Denver, look, you've got Gordon back, you've got Murray, you've got your battle-tested guys, and you have Nikola Jokic. That should be enough to get you 3 wins.
Denver 2-15 all-time when trailing 3-1. College football, Texas Tech transfer quarterback Brendan Sorsby checking into treatment for a gambling addiction comes after he placed thousands of online bets on a variety of sports on a gambling app. Was the number 1 player in ESPN's transfer portal rankings, while in college hoops, Arizona big man Motiejus Krivas is returning to the Wildcats for next season. Krivas averaged 10 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 blocks per game in 39 games last season.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen. Coming up Tuesday, we'll react to all the playoff action. Plus, what should we expect Jalen Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns, and the Knicks to do in Game 5? It's on Sportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
Hey, Will. Hey, bud.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
You so. And Mr. Toby Tom Play. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. NFL draft in the rearview mirror, and historic low for LSU Baseball. David Dellucci here in Hour 3. A ton to do. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
NFL draft is in the rearview mirror. The Saints make 8 selections. Little bit of a caveat because there was a trade in there. But figured what we would do is start the show today by giving you a little roundup of the entire Saints draft class. So let's hit the high points if you would. It started on Thursday like this.
With the 8th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Jordan Tyson, wide receiver, Arizona State.
Talked about it on Thursday, but if Jordan Tyson's healthy, he's an absolute game breaker. He's had the knee, the collarbone, the hamstring issues. If he's healthy, you drafted your version of Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, JSN, the legit number 1 game-breaking receiver, the most talented receiver in this draft class. The caveat is if he's healthy. So go stay healthy and go dominate. After day 1, the Saints rolled into Friday with a couple of picks, and they took a couple of Bulldogs, starting with a big defensive lineman.
With the 42nd pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Christen Miller, D-tackle, Georgia.
6'4", 321 pounds. Christen Miller, a name that should be familiar to SEC football fans. I love the player. I'm a little curious about the spot. They needed cornerback help. They needed edge rusher help. They didn't necessarily need interior defensive linemen. You have Devon Gottschall. You have Nathan Shepard. You have Brian Brzee. You've got Vernon Broughton. And now you add Miller to that group. Somebody's going to be the odd man out. Yes, Gottschall and Shepard are entering the last years of their deal. Here was Kellen Moore on the process that led the Saints to Miller.
Drafting Christen in the second round, 4-year player at Georgia, 2-year starter. As we went through this process, we had a formal interview with him at the Combine. Peter Sermon actually worked him out at Georgia. But great player, love his energy, love his juice. I think you guys already sensed that in kind of his media obligations so far. His versatility and his play style is going to be really good for us.
Love the player, love the versatility, love the play style. A little curious but the position and the spot in the draft, but a good one for that Saints defensive line, but they weren't done with Bulldogs.
With the 73rd pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Oscar Delp, tight end, Georgia.
Kellen Moore talking about Miller's versatility, same thing he liked about Delp.
The way they played him, obviously he played a little bit more of like an off-the-ball tight end in a wing alignment a lot of times. He'll be able to play potentially in the backfield on the line of scrimmage and off the ball. And so, I think what we're getting is a really smart player. I think he'll be able to handle some volume, and I think he'll allow us to play the chess piece game when you have Juwan and you have Noah and you have these other tight ends that you want to kind of put in certain positions. He'll be able to kind of counteract with those guys.
84% of Delp's snaps this season were as an inline tight end. He's obviously the guy that's going to replace Foster Moreau. Just 70 catches over 4 seasons. He can catch, but was not really utilized in that way at Georgia. You heard Kellen say it. He'll battle Noah Fant, former 2019 first-round draft pick. Good depth there. Another big-body dude with a lot of experience at the major college level. He is a plug-and-play, ready-made contributor on the offensive side. Turn the page to Saturday, and the Saints stuck on the offensive side. It was Jeremiah Wright, and that's actually the only announcement we don't have, the offensive lineman from Auburn. One of the things I like about Jeremiah Wright, 25 years old in September. So you're talking about another guy who's a young veteran with a lot of playing experience, a former defensive tackle who switched to the offensive line in 2022, started the last 2 years at right guard at Auburn, also played in the Senior Bowl, something that the New Orleans Saints like a lot. This potentially could be maybe the heir apparent to Cesar Ruiz at right guard, but for now, a good depth piece on the interior, especially with Will Clapp's retirement. So the Saints start day 3 with offense, and they continue day 3 with offense.
With the 136th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Ryan Slants, wide receiver from North Dakota State University.
If the name sounds familiar by now, you probably know it should. That is Trey Lance's younger brother, Bryce Lance, who's 6'3" and had back-to-back 1,000-yard receiving seasons at North Dakota State. What I love about what the Saints did here is exactly what Kellen Moore had said previously. They wanted different body types and different styles. A year ago, you had a bunch of dudes that were 5'10", 180 pounds. Well, now you got Brandon Cooks, now you got Chris Olave, they list him at 6 foot, but let's get real. If Chris Olave's 6 foot, I got a full head of hair. But now you've got 6'2" Jordan Tyson, and 6'5" Devon Vele, and 6'3" Bryce Lance. You've added a whole bunch of dudes with different styles. Loomis talked about Bryce Lance after the draft.
We're adding talent to the room. We're adding a developmental 6'3", 4'4" player that played it. He didn't play at a Power 4 conference. He played, for North Dakota State, and so there's probably some development that we need to do there.
How quickly can that development happen? We'll see, but Bryce Lance, a 4th-round pick, should be a virtual shoo-in to make this team 6'3" and can fly. Finally, the Saints went back to the defensive side in round 5.
With the 177th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Lorenzo Styles Jr., defensive back, Ohio State.
So again, familiar name. Sonny Styles was a top 10 pick. This is his older brother, Lorenzo Styles. And the book on Lorenzo Styles is he ran a 4.27 in the 40. Can absolute fly. Began his career as a receiver at Notre Dame, transferred to Ohio State where he played nickel cornerback. The Saints drafted him as a safety, but this would stand to reason that he's maybe a guy you're eyeing to replace Alontae Taylor.
Brandon refers to these guys as DBs more than corners, nickels, or safeties, and so I'm going to take that tact and just say, hey, look, we added some DBs, some of which are a little more developmental, and we've got to wait till we get into training camp to see how they fit with the defense that Brandon wants to play.
Expect to see Styles in the slot. Speaking of speed, with the 6th-round pick, Saints selected a familiar name.
With the 190th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. The New Orleans Saints select Barion Brown, kick returner, LSU.
Good try on the first name. It's Barion Brown, but we all know that. And again, the Saints went speed. A guy who set the SEC record with 6 kickoff return touchdowns. This is pretty easy, right? You traded Rashid Shaheed a year ago, and so you had a bunch of dudes that split return duties. Mason Tipton, Devin Neal, Kendre Miller, Dante Pettis. Well, guess what? You just solved that problem with a guy who has 6 kickoff return touchdowns in his career in the Southeastern Conference, and that speed is something that was attractive for the Saints.
We went up to the pro day. We had him here for our local pro day. Really enjoyed our visits with him, and man, he was enthusiastic when we called him. It was fun to feel that excitement from him, and yeah, I just remember his comment. We were talking to him about his speed, and one of the comments he made was he never lost a race. And I thought, well, that's pretty good.
That is pretty good. And it's also worth noting the 3 wide receivers picked are the most in one draft for the Saints since 1989. They definitely wanted to get Tyler Shuck weapons. They did it, but they wrapped up their 8th pick in the draft on the defensive side of the ball.
With the 219th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select T.J. Hall, defensive back, Iowa.
7th round pick, another Senior Bowl participant. If the Saints drafted a lot of speed on offense and actually on defense with Styles, this is the opposite of that. He was the slowest corner at the combine, a 4.59 in the 40. Played in 42 games with 18 starts. How he might fit will be interesting, but there's reasons the Saints liked him.
All of a sudden, man, here's a player that we were considering at the bottom of the 5th round and the 6th round, and man, he's still there. So it was kind of like a no-brain pick for us. You know, played at Iowa, played at a high level. That's a really good program. He's well coached, and it's a guy we can throw at a couple positions because we think he's a pretty versatile athlete, and we might have a swing at 3 different spots for him.
I wish the Saints had gotten a cornerback earlier in the draft. They didn't address defensive end in the draft, but did so with a trade to acquire Tyree Wilson. And you got Tyler Shuck a buttload of weapons, which it's hard to argue against that because I and many of you have been screaming about this for years. 3 receivers, a tight end, an interior offensive lineman. It's time to get rolling for the New Orleans Saints and to see if Tyler Shuck is really ready to hit the kaboom with this thing offensively in 2026. All right, quick Saints draft roundup. We're going to dive deeper into all this as we move throughout. I do have a lot of thoughts on the trade for Tyree Wilson I want to get to. We'll talk about the Saints UDFAs a bit later in the show, all the LSU guys. Our show Up and Every Day is brought to you by Bud Light, so drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR, the official beer of your New Orleans Saints. So you want to raise a cold one, toast the Who Dat Nation after a successful draft, make sure it's the official beer of the Saints, Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light. All right, it's after further review. Let me knock out a quick break. We did mention that the Saints selected not 1 but 2 Georgia Bulldogs. Jordan Hill from 24/7, who covers Georgia, is going to join us next to peel back some more layers of the onion on both Christen Miller and Oscar Delp. That's next on AFR.
AFR.
Lowest prices, never any contracts. Lowest prices, never any contracts. When we talk about Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness, I want you to remember that. Lowest prices, never any contracts. If you're already on HRT, remember you're overpaying if you're not at Goodwood. That's number 1. And if you are locked into a contract or paying some membership fee at your HRT clinic, you're overpaying. And if you pay for your 6-month blood labs, you're overpaying because Goodwood picks up that cost as well. Lowest prices, never any contracts, awesome people. It's Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Yes, they do ED treatments, but they do so much more. HRT, like I've told you about, and dozens of different options if you are interested in learning more about peptides and how to optimize your health, your vitality, your mental clarity, lower anxiety, sleep better, so many different ways that you can improve your overall wellness. It's Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. YourGoodwood.com, YourGoodwood.com.
It's not easy to be a champion.
It's built from every swing,
pitch, and game all season long. In the grind, the focus,
and in the recovery.
FMOL Health, Our Lady of the Lake experts provide best-in-class care for our state's world-class athletes, because it takes a champion to care for champions.
I trust the lake to keep me at my best.
From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
Raising Cane's Texas Toast is a thick slice of bread, garlic butter spread, grilled to golden perfection, and made to order just for you. Because when you make it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience, or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs. Set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free confidential help now.
Further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
We had a formal interview with Oscar at the Combine. He kind of shared, I think, a little bit of that. Josh Hill went and worked him out. Felt really comfortable with that through this whole process. He's a multi-spot guy. He's played a lot of different positions in his career there. He's played with some other tight ends, so he knows how to kind of play that, multi-tight end type role. And, that was a great opportunity for us. Obviously, for him to still be available in the third round was a nice luxury for us. And so,
Kellen Moore, Tigers. Oof, programmed into my brain. That's Kellen Moore. Saints selected 2 Georgia Bulldogs on day 2 of the draft. A guy who certainly knows those 2 players well is a guy who covers the Georgia Bulldogs every single day. Jordan Hill, good enough to join us here on AFR. Talk a little bit about Christen Miller and Oscar Delp. Hey, Jordan, it's a pleasure, man. Thanks for the time. How are you? I don't hear. Okay. All right, no worries. Just see if we can get him hooked up. It's all good. Jordan's with Dawgs247, so covers covers the Bulldogs every day. Hey, Jordan, let's try that again. How are you?
Doing great. How about you?
Doing awesome, man. We appreciate the time. Hey, let's go chronologically. Let's start with Christen Miller, and then we'll get to Delp. Miller as a second-round pick. What are your thoughts?
I really like it for the Saints. I thought he was a guy that could have snuck into the end of the first round. I thought maybe the Houston Texans might look at him. I think they had about the 28th pick. But, to see him go off, he was the second Georgia player drafted behind Monroe Freeling. And he's a guy that you look at his stats at Georgia, they didn't really pop off the page, but I think that had more to do with what Georgia asked him to do on that defensive line and really freeing up opportunities for the inside linebackers behind him. So every draft over at Dawgs247, we do a superlative story at the end of it, and we hand out best value or who's going to make an immediate impact. And the three of us over at Dawgs247 all picked Christen Miller as the future star among the 8 Georgia players who were drafted. So I think really highly of him. I'm someone who's a Falcons fan, so kind of torn to see him land in New Orleans, but I think it's a great pick for the Saints, and I think he's going to fit in quite well in that defensive front.
Well, look, as Saints fans, we're watching Harold Perkins go to the Falcons, so it's not like people here are pumped about that. Right? I mean, we've seen a lot of that over the years with the crossover with these two organizations. But hey, so you mentioned that the stats didn't pop based on what Georgia asked him to do. Can you dig a little deeper on what Georgia asked him to do in that defense?
Yeah, I mean, he played a lot of two technique, some zero technique there on the interior defensive line and kind of freeing up space, for the inside linebackers. If you go look the past couple of years, and then really this is the entire time Kirby Smart has been the head coach, it's the inside linebackers who rack up tackles, who have the majority of tackles for loss. But you just watch individual plays from Christen Miller. One, very stout against the run. He deserves a lot of credit for how this defense took a step forward against the run last year. I believe they were in the top 10 by the end of the year. The year before that, they had been 30th against the run, and that was very much not what we've gotten used to seeing, especially the most dominant Georgia defenses. So he deserves a lot of credit there. And two, sometimes with interior defensive linemen, you think more, all right, they're going to stop the run. I think Christian's a pretty capable pass rusher, especially for an interior guy. So he's got a good motor. I think that he's going to do really well there. And, hope you guys get a chance to hear from him, talk to him quite a bit. He's a fun guy to talk to. And you never have to wonder what Christen Miller's thinking. He's usually going to let you know.
He made immediate waves in his post-draft Zoom with the local media. So I think we're already getting a little sense of that with Christen Miller. If there is a concern with Miller, what is it?
I guess the biggest thing is just going to be, how he adapts to a new level of football. I mean, as good as playing in the SEC is, he's going to be going against some outstanding offensive linemen. And he's going to have to prove himself. And I think that you look at what the NFC South as a whole did, and I really think all the teams in the division did a really good job of bulking up and making their teams better for 26. So, it won't be too long before he's playing the Carolina Panthers, and, they've got an offensive line that they went and got Monroe Freeling from Georgia to help make it better. So, and just even the questions that come with any rookie, he's starting his professional career. Does he handle things the right way? Is he mature about what he does? Everything I know about Christian, I think he will be, but, that's an unknown, and he's got to go prove that in New Orleans. That's a very difficult, challenging thing to be up against. But I think Christian will do a good job of that.
At Jordan Davis Hill, if you want to give him a follow, Dawgs247, talking about the two Bulldogs at LSU draft. There we go. Get that. The Saints draft. I got Georgia, LSU, Saints, Falcons just crossing wires left and right here. That the Saints drafted. The other is Oscar Delp, who they went after in round 3. Just a giant tight end, maybe not totally utilized in the passing game. What was Delp's role primarily in that Georgia offense?
He was mostly a run blocker. He was a pass catcher at times, and I'm somebody, with Christian, we were just talking about, hey, the statistics don't jump off the page. I would say that and really double and triple down with Oscar Delp. I think he's going to be someone who is considerably more productive in the NFL than he was in college. He did a great job as a blocker, but I do think he's more capable as a pass catcher than we saw at Georgia. Now, why we didn't see more of that, it's kind of hard to say. Was the offense really geared more toward receivers like Zachariah Branch and then just took opportunities away from Oscar Delp? Was Gunnar Stockton just a little bit more hesitant? So many of those tight end routes are going to be across the middle of the field, and Gunnar didn't really throw to the middle of the field a ton last year. So I think there's a few different reasons why the numbers are what they are. And again, he's not going to be a Brock Bowers who comes into the league and is all of a sudden in the mix for Rookie of the Year. But I think he can be a threat in this passing game, and I think that again, I'm sure he was drafted in large part because of what he showed as a blocker. I think he is a more capable pass catcher than we saw at Georgia.
Was it just, and it's interesting because he had 70 catches over the 4 years in Athens, and you mentioned Brock Bowers. Obviously, they were really good pass-catching tight ends there. Is he a capable pass catcher if they call on him in that role?
I think so. And what really excites me for Oscar, I made this comparison looking at the Georgia players that were drafted, where Oscar falls in New Orleans and where Zachariah Branch falls with the Falcons, that they can get involved in the passing game, and it's not like they got to come in and right away play a huge role. I mean, you look at Oscar, even at tight end, having Juwan Johnson, but also Chris Olave, they go get Jordan Tyson. I think that sets up well where he can get in, get acclimated, and then, play a role, much like with Zachariah Branch for the Falcons, with him joining and Drake London and Kyle Pitts and Bijan Robinson. So I think he is capable. Again, I don't know that we're going to come out of this season and say, oh, my God, he was the second leading receiver for the Saints. But I do think he can be used in that passing game. And think about Tyler Shuck. I think that's huge to have a young tight end. Hopefully they can kind of build that rapport this offseason, and he can become a threat in this offense.
Juwan Johnson is the primary pass-catching tight end for New Orleans, but Delp is certainly someone they like an awful lot. Any other Georgia Bulldogs that you want to send down this way? I'd rather them come here than go up to Philly.
Right. They decided to mix it up. There was a nice run there where they were just NFC South, just dominating, taking a bunch of Georgia players. C.J. Allen was kind of the early exception, but I think it's a pretty good strategy. I think if you're any NFL team, and I was a little surprised that there were 8 Georgia players drafted. There were a few other guys that I thought were 6th, 7th round guys. If I'm a general manager taking my last or second to last pick, hey, pick a guy from Georgia, pick a guy from Ohio State, pick a guy from Alabama. At the very least, they're going to practice hard, and, hey, maybe you find a gem at the end of the draft.
Hey, before you go, and Jordan Hill's with us, Dawgs247, talked a little bit about Miller and the personality. What about both Miller and Delp as locker room guys?
I think they'll both be great. Delp, I would definitely characterize as a leader. I think he was the guy, and he deserves a lot of credit going into his senior year. So this past year, he was very candid during the spring. It was like, hey, I'm not happy with how my junior year went. I kind of got caught looking ahead to potentially going to the draft. He winds up coming back for a senior year. He's a guy that owns when the team has shortcomings, and the guy that I think the rest of the team looks to and understands that he's going to kind of hold that standard and that everybody else is going to pay attention to that. I know Todd Hartley, the tight ends coach of Georgia, I know going into his senior year talked about that he had practically never missed a practice. And Christen's a guy that I think he takes his work seriously, but he's going to be a guy that I think a lot of people gravitate to. It's going to have a lot of fun. I know he was on TikTok, I think the day after he was drafted, saying, hey, New Orleans better watch out, basically. He's going to have a good time, but he's a hard worker, and I think he'll be a fan favorite once he starts making plays, but also put a microphone in front of him. You're going to have something. You're going to come away with something good. I'll tell you that.
Jordan Hill, our guest from Dawgs247 at Jordan Davis Hill, if you want to give him a follow. We appreciate it, man. Thanks for the insight.
Absolutely. Appreciate it.
Yep, it's our pleasure. We're brought to you by Supper Club, supperclubbtr.com. Maybe you need to get Christen Miller over to Supper Club. Supperclubbtr.com for your reservation. So I've been telling you for about a week now that Chef Layton got that authentic Japanese Kobe beef in at Supper Club. Well, it's about half gone. I told you it was going to last about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. Fully expect by the end of this week it's going to be gone. So if you're interested, if you've never had authentic Kobe beef, or if you have and you can't believe that there's a place in Baton Rouge that has it, get by Supper Club. They're closed today. Remember, they're closed Sunday, Monday, open Tuesday to Saturday. So get on by Tuesday or any day this week. But I'm telling you, it'll be gone by the end of this week. So if you're interested in trying something different, something that's not on the menu, it's not going to be an everyday menu item because they get it when they can get it. It's, I think, twice that they've actually gotten authentic Japanese Kobe beef since they've been open at Supper Club. So they got it now. It'll be gone by the end of this week. So get on by supperclubbtr.com for your reservation, or just walk in Tuesday through Saturday, always open seating at the bar, supperclubbtr.com. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. Monday shows are presented by Relief Windows. Good perspective there from Jordan Hill on the 2 Georgia Bulldogs that the New Orleans Saints selected. And it's not a bad strategy. You go with guys that are proven at the power level. And the other thing that I love that you're starting to see very much as a trend in drafts now are older players, because guys, because of NIL, are staying in college longer. Both Delp and Miller are both 4-year guys. So Delp's already 22. Miller will be 22 in August. So you're talking about guys that are just older, more veteran, more mature guys with more college snaps under their belt. See if it pays dividends. All right, it's after further review. Let me knock out a quick break, come back, go around the SEC, and a story that is shaking the college football landscape today. And boy, does it look like LSU dodged a bullet. We'll get to that next here on AFR.
AFR.
91 degrees today. 91 degrees. Your AC is already getting a workout, and it's only April. Call River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001 for the preseason AC tune-up. Y'all, I just can't implore you to do this enough. Mention the show. They're going to save you $30 on that special. Join their membership club, and the seasonal maintenance is free. They're going to come by, check out your unit, make sure it's clean, running efficiently for the coming warm weather, and if you do have an issue, they can catch it early so a little issue doesn't become a very big, very costly issue. And also, the seasonal maintenance extends the life of your unit, putting off longer a very costly replacement. Got to do this every year, y'all. Big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side. It's River City's 1 Hour Air, 752-0001.
The experts at Hood Dental Care want you smiling bigger and healthier than ever. New patients can get a healthy gums cleaning for just $89, plus a free exam and full mouth x-rays. A $376 value. With over 3,000 five-star Google reviews, 5 local locations, and easy online scheduling with same-day care. Hood Dental makes it simple to get started. And we always have other great giveaways for new patients. Check out hooddentalcare.com and schedule your appointment today.
Everything you need for a stunning garden is at the Plant Barn in Baton Rouge. From trees and shrubs to plants and pottery, the Plant Barn has it all at great prices. Visit us today on Valley Street, right off Perkins Road in South Downs.
Bayou Ford has the new 25 Ford F-150 Lariat truck with $12,000 off MSRP, plus the 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Another roof gone too soon.
Looks like neglect. There's no doubt about it. This is a case of poor installation.
At Pelican Roofing, we don't guess. We investigate to find the real cause of your roof's problems. Call Pelican Roofing for your free roof investigation today.
Case closed.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. We are honored and humbled to receive from our clients in Google. Based on 5-star client reviews, the designation of our law firm is highly recommended. Whether you hire us at all, please give us a call, 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. Injuries happen when you least expect them to, making your life more complicated. At Locke Meredith Schoenfagen and Associates, we know this, and we strive to help each of our clients during these times. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs, set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
Well, a story that here on this Monday afternoon is sort of rocking the college football world is what's going on with Brendan Sorsby. If you haven't seen it yet, the Texas Tech transfer quarterback, of course, was at Cincinnati a year ago, transferred into Texas Tech. He and Sam Leavitt were 1A, 1B, the top two quarterbacks in this year's portal cycle. Sorsby is checking into a residential treatment program for gambling addiction. That according, well, actually, Texas Tech has made this announcement. Pete Thamel, NACOS, they were among the first to report this. The school is confirming it now. They've announced it. Sorsby's decision to seek treatment, this is in the wake of a discovery that Sorsby's made thousands of online bets on a variety of sports being a gambling app. Now, that very much jeopardizes his eligibility. The NCAA is investigating Sorsby's gambling as they prohibit athletes from betting on college and pro sports. According to sources in Thamel's report, Sorsby bet on Indiana football while he was redshirting for the Hoosiers as a freshman in 2022. He played a single game that season as a reserve, but he was betting on his team back in 2022. Apparently, the bets were on Indiana to win, and none of them came in a game in which he appeared. So the idea of maybe, tanking is not there, or throwing a game is not there, but still, it's against the NCAA rules. So no timetable on Sorsby's treatment. We'll keep you up to date with this, how it all plays out. But, Sorsby is a guy that we know had a mid-seven-figure contract to go to Texas Tech. And the offer LSU had for him is one that was made public. Ross Dellinger reported. So you're talking about a guy that had a major offer to go to a college football playoff team, and that is very much up in the air right now. And it's interesting because we had Joey McGuire, the Texas Tech head coach, on AFR when we did our show in Houston at the Bryant Awards banquet, when they were kind enough to invite us there to do the show. And so we had Coach McGuire on. And remember, this was at a time when Sorsby had signed with Texas Tech. And, of course, LSU landed Sam Leavitt. But LSU was very much in the mix for Sorsby. Remember, he took a visit to LSU, but ultimately left Baton Rouge and picked Texas Tech, and then LSU landed Sam Leavitt. Well, I asked Joey McGuire about Sorsby in that interaction. This is what he told us.
He said, he goes, Coach, I gave Coach Kiffin my word that I would come on a visit. And so I want you to know I feel really good about where we're at, but I'm going to go on that visit. And he called me whenever they were literally getting on the plane. And he said, Coach, I'll call you tonight with my answer. I promise you. And he did. Like everything he said he was going to do as far as you have my word that I'm not going to make a decision here or there. I'm going to get with my family. We're going to make it. This is whenever I'm going to call you. He did it. And that was a big get because we did not expect to go in the portal for a quarterback. When Will Hammond blew his ACL, you just in this day and age, the amount of resources that are being poured into rosters, Will is going to work his tail off to get back, but you never know whenever it comes to an injury like that.
That was Joey McGuire on AFR at the Bryant Awards. It was either late January or the beginning of February. It was right after the national championship, and told you point blank. Sorsby was going to Texas Tech, but he took the LSU visit because he told Lane Kiffin that he would. And it's funny because with the benefit of hindsight, I had a lot of conversations with folks around LSU at that time who said it felt very much like Sorsby was just there on a free trip. But in Sorsby's mind, he was taking the trip because he promised Lane Kiffin he would. But very clearly LSU dodged a bullet because there's no reason that Sorsby should be eligible after this. And while Sam Leavitt has the Lisfranc injury, and that's certainly a giant question mark, it's not an eligibility issue. It's a health issue. Sorsby may be healthy, but I don't know how in the world the NCAA is going to have him eligible if they have evidence of him betting on college football games. We will keep you posted because that will reshape the landscape of the Big 12 and really college football nationally. All right, it's after further review. Trust isn't given, it's earned. Just like LSU Baseball earns its success pitch by pitch, inning by inning, FMOL Health, Our Lady of the Lake providers earn trust every day. As LSU's championship health partner, Our Lady of the Lake cares for the defending national champions, keeping the Tigers healthy, strong, and ready to perform all season long. And that kind of care starts with a strong team. In fact, FMOL Health was recently recognized by Gallup as an exceptional workplace. It's one of the highest honors for an organization that builds engaged teams and a strengths-based culture. And that's the same team that the Tigers trust for their help. So trust the team that cares for the team you love. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU. Together we roar. Learn more at ololrmc.com/LSU. Okay, we do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference, the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Elijah Haven, the number one quarterback for 2027, picked Alabama over the weekend. Finalists were Alabama and Georgia. You know the drill, 6'5", 220, the number one quarterback, number 6 overall prospect, depending on what scouting service you look at. Second quarterback commit for the Tide's 2027 class.
Texas A&M!
A&M has landed their third 5-star in offensive tackle Kennedy Brown, who's actually just on LSU's campus a week ago. 6'4", 285. He's out of Kingwood, Texas, the number 2 offensive tackle in the country. Picked the Aggies over Florida, LSU, and Tennessee, following multiple visits to all of them over the spring. It's Mike Elko's third 5-star for the class of 2027.
The Auburn Tigers.
Auburn landed 4-star running back Myson Johnson Cook over the weekend, the number 34 overall prospect in the country. 6'2", 225. He's out of the state of Illinois. He's the number 3 running back prospect in the country. Had finalists that included Miami, LSU, Kentucky, and Ole Miss.
The Florida Gators.
And Florida landed Peyton Miller, the number 1 center in the 2027 recruiting class. 6'5", 295. He's out of Texas. He's the number 68 overall prospect. Pledged the Gators on Dave Campbell's Texas football here on Monday. Picked Florida over Texas Tech, Clemson, and SMU. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC. Monday shows are brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows, doors, siding, shutters, and shades. Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Got to see Brandon and Adrian this weekend at the NILSU Max Gala up at the LSU Indoor Facility on Saturday night. Great friends, great supporters of the Tigers, of course, as well. Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. All right, let me knock out a quick break, y'all. We'll wrap up hour number 1 when we come back. We'll get to LSU baseball in 18 minutes. Swept for the 3rd consecutive weekend. I'll give you some thoughts again at the top of hour number 2. But when we come back, the biggest story of the NFL draft from the LSU perspective, outside of Mansour Delane going 6 overall, had to be Garrett Nussmeier's weight. It was one of maybe the biggest storyline of day 3 of the draft. So we'll react to it. Let's hear what some of the national pundits had to say as we continue. It's AFR.
After further review.
What an awesome time of year. I love spring. We're outdoors all the time during spring when the weather is beautiful. Great time to go get in the pool. Great time to just enjoy your outdoor spaces. And Clegg's Nursery can add so much enjoyment to your time outdoors. Get by any of the 4 locations: Seagoneer Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. They have greenhouses that are bursting with blooms. Every single day, they get new truckloads of flowers and plants in. You want that gorgeous spring and summer colors? They've got them every single day over at Clegg's with their full greenhouses that are grown locally, so they're acclimated to South Louisiana, so they last and thrive in our weather. They have cherry tomato plants that are just in right now. I'm telling you, whatever it may be, hydrangeas, go buy local and shop local. Tell them Matt sent you in to Clegg's Nursery.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
At Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer, we know hard work starts with the right equipment. Right now, take advantage of the powerful 3025E tractor with loader for just $297 a month, with 0% financing for 72 months. Whether you're tackling land, property, or projects, this is the tractor built to get it done. Don't wait. This offer ends April 30th, 2026. Visit sunequip.com or stop by a Sunshine location today.
Every ounce of Raising Cane's lemonade has been hand-squeezed that day from fresh lemons before being served over our signature crushed ice. Because when you make it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has the new 25 Jeep Grand Cherokee with $15,000 off MSRP.
Plus the 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou vehicles.
If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. If you're battling an insurance company because of a wreck not your fault and they're not calling you back or being fair, whether you hire us at all, give us a call, 272-5555, or email Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates. You have nothing to lose.
Hello, I'm Collins Meredith. If you've been injured on the job, you likely have a workers' compensation claim, but you may also have a tort claim, which opens up significant.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
With the 249th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Kansas City Chiefs select Garrett Nussmeier, quarterback, LSU.
It's the injury issue. It's not what he is as a quarterback. You know, had he been healthy through the process, we would have had a different kind of year. Now it's the injury. With Shedeur, it wasn't about ability. It went beyond that. We had talked about that. So he went in the 5th round. Look what happened. You get an opportunity, whether you're a 4th-round pick, a 7th-round pick, team that's going to draft your signings and free agent, you got a shot. But Garrett Nussmeier, like Shedeur, it's not because of ability.
One of the biggest storylines of the entire draft, certainly of day 3, was Garrett Nussmeier's wait, as he ended up being the last quarterback selected in the 2026 draft. Fernando Mendoza went number 1 overall. We knew that was going to happen. And then there was the question of who would be number 2. It felt late like Ty Simpson would be the guy. He went 13 overall to the Rams, and that surprised many and certainly pissed off Sean McVay. Say what you want. We all saw it. The next was the big question, and starting day 2 with Carson Beck going to the Arizona Cardinals, 65 overall, we started to look around, okay, where would be good landing spots for Garrett Nussmeier? What are the quarterback-needy teams? And the one that felt maybe the most obvious remaining was Pittsburgh. And we talked about it on Friday, that would actually be an awesome landing spot. Probably the 2 best spots would have been the Rams and the Steelers. Veteran quarterbacks with Stafford and Rodgers, respectively, and veteran quarterbacks who probably aren't going to be quarterbacking much longer, but the rookies going in wouldn't have to play immediately, could take time to learn, good offensive coaches. Those are good situations. So with Ty Simpson going to the Rams, the Steelers very quickly became the next obvious choice. And when Carson Beck goes to Arizona, when the Steelers picked in round 3 and went with Drew Aller, at that point it felt like you knew what was up, and the free fall was about to start for Garrett. And then we saw the Jets take Cade Klubnik in round 4. And North Dakota State quarterback Cole Payton went in round 5 to the Eagles. And then you get into round 6, and Talon Green from Arkansas comes off the board to the Browns. And you're looking around going, that this is the product of the medical at the combine. It's the thing we talk about every year at the start of the combine. We've had doctors in this studio who have sat with us, who have been there at the combine and gone through these medicals and told us about the rigorous process and how they grade players, and they will give a recommendation to the teams, and sometimes it is a do not draft recommendation. And when you look at Garrett with the cyst on his spine, and remember back to fall camp when we learned about the patellar tendonitis, those things very clearly took Garrett Nussmeier off of a lot of teams' boards, period. Baron Morton from Texas Tech went in round 7 in New England. And I will tell you that some of the convos that I was having during the draft with people I trust, the Saints did consider taking Garrett with the 190th pick, which was the 6th round, but that was the pick that ultimately ended up being Berrien Brown. And you could say, well, I know some people have argued that it's just nepotism because his dad. Deuce Vaughn, anybody? The Dallas Cowboys selected Deuce Vaughn so his dad, who is an assistant coach, could make the call that they picked his kid. I mean, the Astros at one point selected Alex Bregman's brother. I mean, it's not like this is an uncommon thing. It's at the end of the draft. Sometimes it's just an honor to give guys an opportunity to hear their names called. The Naval Academy receiver who got picked by Pittsburgh, which is his hometown. Very cool moment. He's not going to make the team. Come on. Sometimes the draft lends itself to those. But for Garrett Nussmeier going to Kansas City, I think this is a really good situation for him. Probably a better situation than if he had gone to the Jets or the Browns or the Cardinals, because Garrett Nussmeier is going to a situation where it's a super stable organization with a Hall of Fame quarterback and a Hall of Fame head coach who's one of the most brilliant offensive minds of this or any era. So Garrett gets to go sit behind Patrick Mahomes and learn from Andy Reid and not be called upon to play immediately in the NFL, which is going to benefit him. Now, he may never be the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs. He may end up being Chase Daniel, a guy that holds a clipboard for a decade, cashes a bunch of checks, and stays in the NFL as a really good backup. Or maybe it's a situation where Garrett will be in Kansas City for his rookie deal and then maybe have an opportunity to go compete somewhere else to be a starter at another point in his career. I don't know how it's going to go. But it's a really stable situation, especially when you look at his opportunity, because you've got Justin Fields there as the number 2 behind Patrick Mahomes. The next quarterback, if you've forgotten, is Jake Haener, who after the Saints waived him, the Chiefs signed him. So this is a really bad day for Jake Haener, because now Justin Fields is very likely going to be the backup quarterback with the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, he's a former first-round pick, and he's a veteran, and he's experienced, and he's going to be the guy that's the number 2, unless if Garrett goes in there and just absolutely wows everybody. But Garrett's going to have a great shot to be the number 3, maybe the third quarterback, the emergency quarterback on a game day. Or maybe he's just a practice squad guy who hangs around as the number 3. But that's a really good situation. If you ask me, do I think Jake Haener or Garrett Nussmeier is going to end up as that number 3 quarterback? I'm pretty sure Nuss is going to have a great opportunity to do that. But there's been a lot of opinions. And even Ian Rappaport, after the draft, when Nussmeier was picked, talked about the opportunity that Garrett's going to have.
Rich, you're talking about the Kansas City Chiefs quarterback situation. There is going to be an opportunity for Garrett Nussmeier to get serious reps in Kansas City. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes is recovering from a torn ACL, a torn LCL. The hope is that he will be ready week 1, but certainly not going to take his full complement of reps this spring. Justin Fields going to get plenty of reps. Chris Oladuke and Jake Haener also on that roster. It certainly seems Nussmeier will be competing to be the 3, and many teams do carry 3rd quarterbacks now, so he does have a shot.
It's a really good opportunity for Garrett Nussmeier. And then when you just think about the financial component of it, that conversation is so dramatically different now. I mean, if you're a 2nd, 3rd, 4th round pick, whatever the case may be, sure, there's a higher draft capital investment, so you're more likely to make the team. But your entire rookie deal is going to be worth maybe the same as what Garrett Nussmeier made this year at LSU. So Garrett, not Garrett's family, Garrett, has made 7 figures playing football. So the financial burden of this slide isn't felt as much because of the NIL rev share component that now exists in college. So good luck to Garrett Nussmeier. No doubt, brutal. It was brutal to watch that fall. It had to be brutal for him to live through that. But he's got his opportunity, and it's with one of the best organizations in the NFL. All right, we're brought to you by Relief Windows. We'll knock out a quick break. Come back, hour number 2 after Sports Center. Here, stay with us. A busy Monday edition of AFR presented by Relief Windows.
After further review.
We're brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. Of course, you can always get on into any of the Rouse's locations. They still have hot-boiled crawfish at Rouse's every single day in their in-house boiling rooms. So maybe around Easter, we all do a bunch of crawfish boil. It's been a couple of weeks. Maybe now you're thinking, it's been a minute since I've had crawfish. Kind of jonesing a little bit. How about tonight? Get on by Rouse's. Pop into any of the Rouse's locations. Grab you some hot-boiled crawfish for the entire family. Great opportunity. Also, Derby season is here, y'all. The Kentucky Derby is this weekend, and I love when they do this. Rouse's is hosting a Woodford Reserve bottle engraving event at several of the Rouse's locations. So if you want to check them out on social media, you can see which locations it is. These make for great gifts or cool keepsake for yourself. Check it out on any of their social media if you want to learn more about it. Perfect gift for the whiskey lover in your life. Rouse's, this feels like home.
Hi, this is Beth Tarina. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here. We eat out here. We watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
Most roofers just replace your shingles. At Pelican, we diagnose your roof, digging deep down to find the root cause of your roof symptoms. Now cough for me? Good. We don't ignore your roof's issues, we address them. Let's just take care of this right here. Helping your roof to become the best version of itself. Interesting that you would say that. How does that make you feel? So call Pelican Roofing for your free roof checkup today.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith with Locke Meredith Sean Fagan & Associates. We take great pride in educating our clients about their rights. Whether you're injured at work or while you drive, call our office at 272-5555. Knowledge is power, and you should know your rights after an injury.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan of Locke Meredith Sean Fagan & Associates. When insurance companies have been unfair, we've never been afraid to go to trial. Fighting hard to protect your rights, we never settle a case out of convenience. We only settle when it's right for you. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Nick Dellucci. NFL Draft in the rear-view mirror. 257 names called. None more intriguing than Alabama's Ty Simpson to the Rams' 13th overall. QB in waiting behind Matthew Stafford after just 15 college starts. NFL Network's Daniel Jeremiah says it's the most interesting angle for the pick.
This is going to buck the trend, if this is successful, of this limited sample size, the 15 starts. We just haven't seen it. We haven't seen somebody be successful. And then now you add on top of that, he's going to have to wait at least a year, maybe 2 or even longer behind Matthew Stafford. So you've got somebody over that long period of time who's only played 15 games.
Jeremiah on the Rich Eisen Show. 15 starts for Simpson, the 4th fewest for a first-round QB since 1999. College football, Texas Tech transfer quarterback Brendan Sorsby going on indefinite leave to receive treatment for a gambling addiction was the #1 player in ESPN's portal rankings. While in the NBA, Heat president Pat Riley making it clear he won't retire or resign, remains committed to running the franchise at age 81.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen. Coming up Tuesday, we'll react to all the playoff action. Plus, what should we expect Jalen Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns, and the Knicks to do in Game 5? It's on Sportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's rock!
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
You so. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. David Dellucci in 1 hour. The Saints did not draft a defensive end. They did, however, trade for one. Tyree Wilson. We'll talk about that in 15 minutes, so that's coming up. LSU got swept this weekend by Mississippi State, and if I were to give you a singular moment across the 3 days that you could say, look at that singular moment, and it defines this series. It was on Sunday in the bottom of the 5th. LSU's leading 5-4. Remember, they've already lost the first 2 games. Your season is on life support at this point. You've lost 8 straight conference games. The previous 2 days, devastating, where you've blown leads. You got to get one. We've talked about the math. You got to get one. If you're trying to get to 13, get 1 in Starkville, get 2 at home against South Carolina, and hope you can find a way to win a series against Florida, steal one against Georgia, and maybe win a few games at the SEC tournament and get yourself into a regional. Like, we're doing the math, right? You got to have it. You're up 1 run. The tying run's on second base. There's nobody out. You got to get out of this. You're going to your best arm in this moment to get out of this moment, to get out of this jam. And Jay Johnson comes out of the dugout. He signals, gives him one of these, signals for the righty. And out of the bullpen emerges Dax Dothie. Who, when Dax Dothie, no shade to him, by the way, who, when Dax Dothie took the mound and threw the first pitch, that was the first pitch in an SEC game he has thrown this year in that moment. And you may say, well, why would Jay go to him? Because he didn't have anybody else. That was the product of pushing all of your chips to the center of the table on Friday, which was 100% the right thing to do, by the way. You had no Case and Evans. You have no Cooper Moore. You're down 2 starters. You asked your bullpen to account for 23 innings this weekend. This is a bullpen that already isn't any good. And there you found yourself on Friday up 4 runs when the guy who's probably going to be the SEC pitcher of the year was starting. And you hit him. You knocked him out of the game, but he couldn't even get through 4 innings. You tag Valinkas, you're up 4 innings on what's supposed to be a whole staff day. You have a chance to steal a game with a whole staff approach against the guy that's probably going to win SEC Pitcher of the Year. Jay looks and goes, damn, I'm up 4. Gimme Sheeran. Gimme Garcia. Gimme Cowan. Threw his best guys. He threw the best guys he had. And they lost. And at that point, when Guidry had thrown 47 pitches and Sheeran had thrown 43 pitches and Garcia had thrown 44 pitches and Cowan had thrown 41 pitches, you were cooked. It was over. You had your best arms were burned. You were going to have to rely the rest of the weekend on a lot of Connor Benj and Cooper Williams, Reagan Ricken, Dax Dothy, like whoever. Anybody down there? I mean, I hate to oversimplify it, but if Stephen Milam keeps his foot on the bag for the double play in the 9th, we're having a different conversation today. And I'm not piling on Stephen Milam. There was a lot wrong in that game that allowed LSU to blow that lead. But you had a lead in the 9th. Ruckert relayed to Milam, who relayed to first. And a play that's happened in baseball infinity times since the advent of this game gets overturned on replay by millimeters. And if Milam's foot kicks the bag, you get the double play, the pop-up to the next hitter, the ball game's over, you win game 1. And not only do you win game 1, but Cowan doesn't have to go through 2 more innings. So you can bring Cowan back with something left in the tank. And maybe that allows you to close out game 2 or hang on in game 3. Maybe not, but maybe. As it turns out in college baseball, where you don't have a minor league system, you can't call guys up. When you lose 2 starting pitchers, it's really hard to win. And when you couple that with the fact that this already is a team that's struggling so mightily, and you're without Jake Brown, and you're without Chris Stanfield on Sunday, just too many things in the deck stacked against you. And this was an historic loss. The SEC was founded in 1932. As far as we have records, LSU has never lost 9 straight SEC baseball games until now, which is crazy to think, by the way, because there's a lot of lean years in LSU baseball pre-Burtman. I mean, they won 5 SEC titles in the 50 years before Skip showed up. So about once a decade, they'd win an SEC title. There's a lot of bad years in there, too. So this is just what it is. The math doesn't math anymore. If you want to make the NCAA tournament, you're going to have to win the SEC tournament in Hoover. And I don't think this team is capable of doing that. Jay effectively acknowledged this weekend that they are now playing for the future. And so you're going to play a lot of the young guys. And that is the silver lining. Omar Cerna this weekend homered in all 3 games. He hit .571, 8 of 14. Braun hit .538 with 2 walks and a hit by pitch. He was awesome. William Patrick, the batting average wasn't awesome. He was 2 of 13, hit .153, but on Friday, in a giant spot in the 9th inning, he comes up with the knock to give you the lead on the road in the 9th at a place as a madhouse. Jack Ruckert was so solid defensively at second base for the bulk this weekend. Like Cerna, was 2 of 13. And he hit a lot of balls hard. It'll come. The strikeouts are there for both those guys too, but it'll come. And that's the silver lining. Because it stinks to be playing for the future in April. But here we are. It's what it is. You're down 2 starting pitchers. You're down your team leader in homers and RBI. Chris Stanfield's been limited all year. He missed 16 games earlier, and if you're watching, it's just been very clear he's basically playing with one hand. You have transfer misses And you have guys that have not developed like you thought they would. Maverick Rizzi, Cooper Williams, and they haven't taken the step. All of that thrown in the pot together lends you what you have here. So, over the final 3 weeks, this is about getting valuable experience for your young guys, which will then allow you to retain your roster. Jay talked about it last week. It's the big difference from a year ago when they tried to replace the home run production from Jones and Fry. Instead of relying on the guys on the roster, they went to the portal. The guys on the roster left, and you see what happens. They missed on the portal guys, and guys that left are doing well. We've pointed out plenty, Mikey Ryan and Ryan Costello. Hindsight's 20/20, but if you could reverse that decision and those two guys were starting on the right side of your infield this year, I would submit to you the season looks different. I'm not telling you they're a national championship team, but I'm telling you the season looks different. And then you got to hit in the portal. My guess is they're going to go upper crust shopping in the portal. See who they can land, but the focus is going to be retention of this roster and see if you can add a key arm, a key bat, a couple of guys that could be impact guys instead of trying to go add 4 infielders to let them battle it all out and get crowded and watch guys leave. It is an uncomfortable spot for LSU baseball to be in. Uncomfortable because none of us have ever seen this team lose. I've seen bad teams. Maneri's first team was awful. The 2011 team was bad. They lost a lot of one-run games, but you had freshman Kurt McCune as your Friday night guy. Jay's first team had Mikhail Hilliard as the You went from Mikhail Hilliard to Paul Skeens. Okay? I've seen bad baseball. Smoke's last team in 06. Bad team. This is not a good baseball team. They got a lot of talented guys. A lot of talented guys are going to play Major League Baseball one day. But for a lot of reasons, this team, it has just not come together and leads to circumstances where you're in a desperate mode and you've got Dax Dothy on a Sunday taking the ball. Again, that's not a criticism of Dax Dothy. He took the ball and he went and he did what he was asked to do. But, man, this has been I don't even know what adjective to use to describe it. But there's 3 more weeks, it'll be over, and then Jay will have a heavy lift to make sure this thing gets back on track next season. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen and SouthPointVW.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at SouthPointVW.com. I was over at the dealership Saturday morning, as a matter of fact, picking up a Volkswagen Atlas Cross Sport. Hey, if you're, whatever you might be buying a vehicle for, if you want the 3-row, 7-seater family SUV, that's the Atlas. Maybe you want, like I drive the Cross Sport, which is the Atlas, just take out the 3rd row. They got the compact SUV, the Tiguan. Maybe you want the Jetta, which is the sedan. The ID4, if you're into an electric vehicle. They got something for everybody, whatever you're looking for. And you're going to drive one of the safest vehicles on the road. You're going to get the great German engineering, style, feel, performance of luxury, great value, and manufactured right here in the US of A at their Chattanooga, Tennessee plant. So you're supporting American jobs. What more could you want? Test drive one today at South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland or SouthPointVW.com. South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction? All right, y'all, glad you're hanging out with us here on this Monday edition of AFR. It's a really busy weekend. I did spend part of my day Saturday evening at the NILSU Max Gala at the LSU Indoor Football Facility. Tell you a little bit about that coming up next hour. We got a lot that we want to cover. David Dellucci in 45 minutes. Let me break when we come back. The Saints did not select a pass rusher, but they did the next best thing, which might even actually be the best thing. They traded for one, and I want to react to that next. Stay with us here. It's AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by the Watermark and the Renaissance. Watermark downtown, Renaissance Southtown. Actually, I was talking to my friends from Woodside Energy. I was at the baseball game with them a couple of weeks ago. They're making plans to have their whole, well, not the whole company, but a lot of folks in town for the LSU Clemson game. And so they were looking at rooms, and they booked at Renaissance Baton Rouge, which, of course, that's the place where the Tigers stay the Friday night before home games, or they have stayed there the Friday night before home games. It's just awesome. Sprawling, gorgeous hotel, plenty of guest rooms, and tons of meeting space no matter what type of meeting that you need to hold. They got boardrooms for 12 people. The grand ballroom can host 500 people, and they can host anything in between. And remember, Tallulah, They're about to unveil their new menu. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go hang out with David over at Tallulah on Thursday of this week. So I'll be there for lunch. If you're looking for check me come have lunch with me Thursday at Tallulah at Renaissance Baton Rouge.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Jordan Faber here with some exciting news. Faber Automotive has officially arrived. We're proud to introduce your new hometown dealership, Faber Chevrolet GMC. That means more inventory, better deals, and the same great local team. Now backed by the trusted Faber family name. Whether you're shopping or servicing, you'll feel the difference from day one. Allow us the opportunity to earn your business.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Visit us in St. Francisville or online at FabryChevrolet.com.
Every Raising Cane's chicken finger is marinated, battered by hand, and cooked to order to perfection. We don't have heat lamps, because when you make it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
It's not easy to be a champion.
It's built from every swing, pitch, and game all season long. In the grind, the focus,
and in the recovery.
FMOL Health, Our Lady of the Lake experts provide best-in-class care for our state's world-class athletes. Because it takes a champion to care for champions.
I trust the lake to keep me at my best.
From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine.
Tackers, pipe fitters, welders, pipe cutters. I'm talking to you. I need you to listen up. River Parish Contractors is hiring, and they have an immediate need for a lot of y'all, okay? And they're a great company that takes care of their people. I'm going to give you the number to call Big Jake here in just a second. You can remember the website as well. But they got night shifts, 5/10s, no rainouts, and they got long-term work that you can count on, plus full benefits. I'm talking insurance, 401k, paid time off, and the shop is just outside of Reserve, so it's close to everything, and you will be home with your family every day. If you're interested, call Big Jake at River Parish Contractors, 985-479-9858. That's 985-479-9858.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
This week, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge is proud to support Dreams Come True during our annual Radiothon, helping grant dreams for children facing life-threatening illnesses. Join us Tuesday, April 28th for a special Power Hour where your donation could also score you an incredible prize pack, including Post Malone tickets, Jazz Fest tickets, a signed Jacob Hester jersey, a signed Matt Flynn's jersey, and Raising Cane's swag. Tune in, make a donation, and help us change a child's life during Dreams Come True Radiothon. Thanks to First American Bank and Boudreaux's Electrical, along with Chad's Collision, Subaru of Baton Rouge, Lewis Mechanical Patient Plus, and River Parish Contractors for making it all happen.
LSU football wrapped up spring on Saturday. I was not there. Media was not invited. I did, however, talk to a lot of people who were, and I was able to cobble together some notes. We'll get to that here in about a dozen minutes from right now. As the Saints went into the NFL draft, we looked at needs, and I think we all sort of unanimously agreed wide receiver, cornerback, edge rusher. Those were among the biggest needs for this team. Well, they added 3 wide receivers, including Jordan Tyson with the 8th overall pick. They added 2 defensive backs with Hall and Styles. It'd be interesting to see where Styles plays, by the way. He might very well end up being a replacement for Alontae Taylor in the slot, more so than playing a true safety spot. But they didn't address edge rusher. And that was curious because we certainly had a lot of conversations about Ruben Bain maybe being the 8th overall pick, addressing it at the top of the draft. But they went throughout the draft and didn't add an edge rusher with a draft pick. They did, however, trade a draft pick for an edge rusher, and it is a super high ceiling guy. New Orleans traded a 5th-round pick for Tyree Wilson and a 7. Now, the 7 became Hall, the cornerback from Iowa. But Tyree Wilson is the focus of this trade. And this is a calculated risk, but it is one worth taking considering the massive upside. And I would also throw in the success that Saints have had giving Chase Young a new opportunity in a different defense. So if you're not familiar with Tyree Wilson, so he went to Texas Tech, 6'5", 263. He's 25 years old. So you're still talking about a dude that is young, in his physical prime. By the way, like Jeremiah Wright from Auburn is 25. Tyler Shuck, you drafted him at 25. So you're talking about a guy here who's 3 years into his NFL career, still a young guy, still in his physical prime. But Tyree Wilson was the number 7 overall pick in the 2023 draft out of Texas Tech. Dude was a top 10 pick of the Raiders. And in 3 years in the league, he has played in 50 football games. In 3 years, he's missed one game. In 2024, he missed one game. That's it. So 17, 16, 17. He's played in 50 games. He started just 7 times, however. He's a very good run defender, but he's kind of been an average pass rusher through 3 seasons. Over 3 seasons, he has 12 sacks combined. So when you draft a guy 7th overall, that's 6'5", 263, you're expecting this guy to be a menace off the edge, opposite Max Crosby with the Raiders, and it just hasn't happened for him. Very good player, good rotational player, and has been productive, but as a rotational piece, not what you expected with the 7th overall pick. So as of right now, the Raiders have not picked up Wilson's 5th-year option. So they had a decision to make. If we're not going to sign him to his 5th-year option, if we're going to pick up his 5th-year option, he's going to be a free agent after this season. We can either let him walk in free agency and get nothing for him, or we can trade him now and get a 5th-round pick. So that's what the Raiders elected to do, was to trade him. Instead of picking up the 5th-year option, let the Saints make that decision. And they got a pick for it. And so when you look at the compensation from the Saints' perspective, they get the former number 7 overall pick for a 5. I would do that 100 times out of 100, especially when you're talking about a guy who has played. Think of it this way. If you draft someone in round 5, ideally what you're thinking is, I want this player to make my team. Can this 5th-round pick just make the football team? Because you can look at the Saints draft history and you will find very productive 5th-round picks over the course of the years. And then you'll find guys like Bub Means, who is a 5th-rounder. Spencer Rattler, who is a 5th-rounder. Jordan Howden, who's a 5th-rounder. DeMarco Jackson, 5th-rounder. You get my point? Natrell Jamerson was a 5th-rounder. Davis Tull, Tyler Davison, Damian Swan, Vinny Sinceri, Ronald Powell, Corey White. You get my point? Matt Tennant. Thomas Morstead was a 5th-rounder. Point is, historically, 5th-rounders, not a great opportunity for them to either make the team or be key contributors. Here you have a guy that's 25 years old, has played in 50 games, started 7 times, and is a productive rotational guy. If you were to get that out of a 5th-rounder, awesome. And you have major upside with a guy with great physical ability who might, in a new situation, new surrounding, new defense, might be able to realize more of his physical ability. Think Zach Bond. I'm not telling you he's going to become a Defensive Player of the Year candidate, but Bond just meandered aimlessly in New Orleans for 3 seasons, goes to Philly, boom, Defensive Player of the Year candidate. Chase Young, he needed to get healthy, but he was awesome for New Orleans last year. So the contract that Wilson signed as a rookie was a 4-year, $25 million deal. This year for New Orleans, he's going to cost $4.1 million. Cheap for a guy that's going to make your team and be a really productive player. The question is the 2027 option. So the Saints could pick, by the way, you have until May 1st. So it's a few days away. The deadline's May 1st to decide if you're going to pick up the 5th-year option for the 2023 draft class. If they do, he'll be on the roster next year in 27 for $14.4 million. So that's expensive, but with an escalating cap and the Saints in a very healthy cap situation, it ain't that bad. I mean, the Saints have just swallowed enormous dead cap hits. If you have a guy that's actually productive, $14 million doesn't sound too bad. Yeah, the downside is you don't pick up the option, then he becomes an unrestricted free agent after 1 season, and maybe you lose him. That's the downside. There's obviously implications here with Cam Jordan. Now, Cam said after the draft that he doesn't think the Saints' decisions have mean that he's done in New Orleans. We'll see how that goes. I do think this means Cam Jordan is done. We've talked about it plenty with New Orleans. This is a franchise that, for as fiscally irresponsible as they have been over the last decade, one thing that they somehow become very staunch on is when they have a value for a player, they don't go over it. Doesn't matter who you are. And so we've seen guys like Marcus Williams and Mark Ingram and other Trey Hendrickson leave because the Saints aren't going to go higher than the number that they place on those players. So Cam Jordan wants a multi-year deal with guarantees. The Saints wouldn't give that to Demario Davis. They're sure as hell not going to give it to Cam Jordan. So I do believe Cam Jordan's done in New Orleans because the Saints aren't going to offer him a multi-year deal, so they're moving on. And so you look at the defensive ends right now, you've got Chase Young returning. You've got Carl Granderson. Now you add Tyree Wilson. That's 3. You've got Chris Rumph and Fadil Diggs as well. Put an asterisk next to those 2 guys because now those 2 guys are going to have to earn their roster spot because New Orleans also, over the weekend, signed Anfernee Jennings. Name sounds familiar. It should. He played collegiately at Alabama. He was a 3rd-round pick of the 2020 draft of the Patriots. He has played in 79 career games with 43 starts. This is another veteran player that has become a productive, reliable, rotational piece at defensive end. So you've got your starters in Chase Young and Carl Granderson, and now you've got 2 guys in Wilson, who's 25, and Jennings, who's 28, who are young veteran players who are productive and are very likely your depth pieces at defensive end. It's very clear what New Orleans is doing. They're getting younger. Last year, there were only 12 rosters in the NFL that were older than the Saints. So they were 20th in the NFL if you're looking at age. Only 12 franchises had older rosters. Well, Demario Davis is 37. He's gone. Cam will be 37 by the time the season kicks off. He's likely going to be gone. Alvin Kamara is going to be 31 by the time the season kicks off. He very possibly, maybe even probably, could be gone. So we'll see how that goes. But the point is, it's clear where New Orleans is headed. They're turning the page organizationally from the era where they were all in to win with Drew Brees. And I was all okay with that. They were all in for it. And I have no problem with them doing that. They just had some miserable playoff losses. I think they are about 3 years late of moving on. But it is clear now they are moving on from that era in a new era with Kellen Moore, Tyler Shuck, and getting younger. And it sucks to say goodbye to players that have been franchise legends. But that is part of this game. And they'll have their opportunity to come back and be honored in a manner in which they should. But it's clear what's happening now in New Orleans. And I really like the idea to trade for Tyree Wilson to get a proven productive rotational player in the NFL instead of a maybe with a 5th-round pick. All right, it's After Further Review. Brought to you by First South Farm Credit. If you're thinking of buying land, Your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. They have been first in agriculture for more than 100 years. They have been first when it comes to helping Louisianians buy land, and it doesn't matter where you're looking to buy land, because First South Farm Credit can help you buy land anywhere in the lower 48. Buying land is not the same as buying a home. So if you've gone through the home buying process before, financing land is different. You need land experts, and that's what First South Farm Credit does every day. Their expert lenders help you with the intricacies and complexities of buying recreational timber property. So if you're thinking of buying that land to build your family's dream home, your hunting property, your getaway property in Mississippi or Texas or Arkansas, or Alabama, wherever it may be, First South Farm Credit can help. Your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. Go to firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. All right, y'all, it's after further review. Glad to have you aboard with us here. We're halfway home on a Monday edition of AFR. When we come back, we got a lot to do still. When we come back, I do want to give you a few notes from the LSU spring football scrimmage, the final practice of spring that was held in Tiger Stadium on Saturday. I was not there, but I'll share with you what I was told as far as some of the notes from that practice. David Dellucci in 30 minutes from right now. I do want to get the LSU draft roundup. Such a jam-packed weekend. We've got a lot to get through, so we'll do it all as we continue here on AFR.
AFR.
If you're hiring, you need Glow Resources. Hiring for what? Doesn't matter. Hiring skilled blue-collar labor, you need Glow Resources. Got an office job you need to fill? Glow Resources. What type of office job? Doesn't matter. Their professional placement division can help. Anything from office assistants all the way up to the C-suite. See, at Glow Resources, Jareth Knockan and his team have done an amazing job of building a network and cultivating their organization to find the best people for your job. It's what they do literally every day. They're so, and they handle everything. They're so confident in their ability to find you the right permanent solution that if the person they hire doesn't work, they'll give you a prorated refund or they'll find a replacement absolutely free of charge. It's Glow Resources. Check them out online at glowresources.com.
At Parrish, we bring the same commitment to your home that champions bring to the game.
Do business with someone you know. Parrish Construction and Roofing.
Parrish Construction and Roofing. ParrishBuilt.com.
Bayou Ford has the new 25 Ford F-150 Lariat truck with $12,000 off MSRP, plus the 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Meredith Sean Fagan and Associates has won for our clients over $175 million over the decades, but our greatest success is our clients who have chosen and trusted us to help them. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call. You've got nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan. If you get injured, you could be staring at medical bills, repair costs, and lost income. Life can be turned upside down. At Lock Meredith Sean Fagan and Associates, we'll work to turn your world right side up. Hire us, and like thousands of our clients, you'll be glad you did.
Who bears the standard? Who sets the bar? It's not those satisfied by low-hanging fruit or by taking it easy. Now the standard is set by the best of us, by those who work hard. Dig deeper. Give more. At Sunshine, we're proud to provide John Deere products that work hard for you, the standard bearers. Find the dealer nearest you.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
Lane Kiffin's going to meet reporters on Tuesday. Certainly recap everything he has to say, putting a button on his first spring at LSU. Tigers practiced Saturday in Tiger Stadium. That would have been the traditional spring game date. There was not a spring game. There was no event for fans. At Ole Miss, Kiffin had stopped doing a spring game and had started kind of doing just a fun field day with a dunk contest and things like that as the final practice. My assumption is that Lane made the decision they needed all the practice they could get, and so they didn't want to waste one of their 15 allocated spring practices, and so they had a scrimmage inside of Tiger Stadium. It was just closed to the media. And I'm not complaining about that in the least. I think the access that Lane Kiffin gave us in this spring was outstanding. For the first half of spring, we only got to watch really individual drills, about 25 minutes or so. And in the second half of spring, he opened it fully and let us go watch the whole thing. We got to watch 2 full scrimmages in Tiger Stadium. We got to watch a ton of this team, and I feel like I have a really good handle on things coming out of spring. Wish could have been in there in Tiger Stadium on Saturday, but it's okay. He wanted to do a closed workout, fine. But I did talk to a lot of people who were there and was able to cobble together from a bunch of different people some notes. So I'll pass along what I think was relevant. They did follow the same format as we've seen, which is they would do individual drills and then special teams. Then they went into the scrimmage where 1s, 2s, and 3s all got reps. And then the 2-minute offense to finish, which is what they did at the end of the last scrimmage where they sort of announced a down and distance, right? 58 seconds to go, no timeouts, down by 5, you need a touchdown sort of thing. And so then they had to go run a 2-minute offense. So it was in Tiger Stadium. And as I think back through the scrimmages we saw, the first scrimmage of spring we didn't get to watch, and Lane didn't really give us anything, only that the defense kind of had the upper hand. The second scrimmage is the one that we got to watch, where the offense threw 5 interceptions and lost a fumble and missed a field goal. It was a disaster. That's the one Lane Kiffin referred to as discouraging and said if we had to play today, we would be a defensive football team. 1 week after that, really that next week, the third week of spring, is when the offense started to hit its stride. Because that next Saturday is when they scored 10 touchdowns in 19 possessions. It was incredibly impressive. And it was all different varieties. There was 2-play drives with big plays. There was a 10-play drive that was a grind it out. There were quick strikes, big plays, short yardage runs. It was really impressive to watch the offense go. And the only interception was Emil Picarella, who threw a 77-yard pick six. So Longstreet and Clark protected the football. So with all that as the context, it was going to be interesting to see if the offense continued on this trajectory in this fourth scrimmage. And they did. Of the 16 offensive drives, 7 of the 16 resulted in touchdowns. And they did have 2 field goal attempts. Scott Starzyk made one, missed one. Now, Starzyk has a big booming leg, and it very clearly has the best leg of the 3 kickers, but has missed a couple. The scrimmage we were at last Saturday, he missed a 37-yarder and missed another here in this scrimmage. So something worth keeping an eye on. I thought there were 2 offensive players of spring that were big risers in my mind of the newcomers. And it was Malik Elzy and Dylan Jones. We've talked a lot about them. Well, Elzy had another big day. Malik Elzy had 4 catches of 20 yards or more on Saturday in that scrimmage. And, I think It's been interesting listening to Lane Kiffin because when he was asked about the receivers, he was asked, are you trying to get a bunch of different guys, different size, different skill set? And he said, not really. I just want good football players, and then we'll let them go compete and see how it works. Well, I don't know that Malik Elzy coming in from Illinois was one that a lot of people had circled as a guy that would sort of be a riser. But if you asked me, among the receivers who had the biggest impact this spring, I would tell you Jace Brown, in no particular order, by the way, Jace Brown, Jackson Harris, Malik Elzy, and Winnie Watkins. Those four. Now, my eyes tell me that Tyree Wilson from Florida is different. Like his burst, the quick twitch, the explosiveness is different than everybody else. For whatever reason, he hasn't had as many opportunities with the ones as everybody else, probably because there's a lot that we don't see. But I would put Elzy in that group of the top four that made the biggest impact in this first spring. Long way to go till you play a game. But I'd put him in that mix. I thought it was also interesting that the running game got going. The defense, I was told, allowed 3 running backs rushes of 10 yards or more, in addition to Harlem Berry busting off a 55-yarder. You know, when I think about the hallmark of Lane Kiffin's offenses, I know we're conditioned to think fast, hurry up, throw it all over the yard, and the quarterbacks have had really good passing numbers. But really, it's the ability to get chunk plays in the running game, get a defense gassed to where people aren't gap sound, and you bust off long runs. And this was a great evidence of that. I think Harlem Berry is going to have an awesome year. He's the running back on this team that most closely resembles what Ole Miss had last year. And I think if Harlem Berry gets that opportunity, then it's the rushing attempts, then you probably let me say it this way. Dylan Jones is by far the best in pass protection. So the best all-around back. And he's a physical dude, bigger guy between the tackles. If you're looking at what guy has the highest ceiling, biggest game-breaking potential of all the backs, it's Harlem Berry. It's why they push so hard to keep him. And he showed that again with this 22-yard, this 55-yard run on Saturday. Now, there were 3 players offensively that LSU focused on retaining. It was Braylon Moore, Harlem Berry, and the third was Trey'Dez Green. And Trey'Dez Green, in the 2-minute period, did haul in a one-handed touchdown catch in the 2-minute period because he's a total freak of nature. And in this offense, I think is going to be the leading receiver for LSU this year leading pass catcher. Because, Lane Kiffin has said they didn't go in the portal and spend their quote-unquote cap, his word, on a top-tier receiver. They went and added 9 guys. And you had Phillip Wright back, and you had the freshman coming in. But they decided to go sign a bunch of guys to see which 4 to 6 will emerge. The player they did spend a lot of money on was Trey'Dez Green. And as a result, I do believe he is going to be featured heavily in this offense and in this passing game. So the one mistake was an interception by Husson Longstreet, thrown in the end zone. The defense forced a 3-and-out on the first possession of the scrimmage, and that was the only 3-and-out of the day. So the offense got going after that. Again, the one interception by Longstreet in the end zone is disappointing to see, but for the most part, over the last 2 weeks, since that just awful day, 3 Saturdays ago in Tiger Stadium, the second scrimmage, where they combined for 5 interceptions and a lost fumble. They've done a much better job of protecting the football, and that's great to see. So that first spring is in the books, and maybe I'm burying the lead here, but the one other thing that I was told from Saturday is that Sam Leavitt did participate in 7-on-7. Not the team drill, but he did participate in 7-on-7, and that had been the first time since he had the pins removed from the list, Frank, 3 Mondays ago, that he participated in really in anything. So progress there for Sam Leavitt, progress for the LSU offense. We're excited about it. So spring practice has come to a close on the field for the Tigers. Lane Kiffin will meet with reporters on Tuesday. Everything he says that's relevant to wrap that first spring, we'll talk about. All right, brought about Arco Power Systems. ARCCO, Arco.com, Arco.com, Arco.com. It's Arco Power Systems. Generac Industrial Generator Power. That's what Arco Power Systems does. This is generator power for your business. Power goes out. Your business needs to stay online. What do? Arco. ARCCO. But don't wait. Like we say all the time with your home. When the storm's in the Gulf or the power goes out, generally then is when it's too late. You need to have a plan. You plan for everything in your business. If you're a business owner, you know that. You plan for every possibility. What's your plan if the power goes out? What's your plan if there's a storm? Get that plan together now with my friends at Arco. Everything's turnkey. Sell, service, install, rent, everything. That Generac Industrial Standby Generator. It's Arco Power Systems. ARCCO. Arco.com. 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 All right, y'all, it's after further review. So glad to have you aboard with us here on this Monday edition of AFR, presented by Relief Windows. And we're going to talk to David Dellucci in 15 minutes from right now. We'll recap the weekend that was in SEC baseball, a season that has totally gone off the rails for LSU, but the rest of the conference continues to trudge on and plod forward. And I do want to recap the LSU draft. We talked about Garrett Nussmeier in hour number 1, but I want to talk about the rest of the guys in the NFL draft from this past weekend from LSU and where they're heading. So we'll get to that in hour number 3 as well. Let me knock out a break. Come back. Houston Tigers and the Pros. Stick around here on AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Darren James and Associates, brokered by LPT Realty. Buying or selling your home, you better call Darren James, because when you call Darren James, you are calling the absolute best. Agent225.com, agent225.com, agent225.com is where you get Darren James. Voted by you the best realtor in Baton Rouge. And my goodness, if you want to see his listings, go to the website at agent225.com or follow Darren on Facebook, and you'll see part of what makes Darren so different. The way Darren markets his properties is next level. From the technology to the apps that he uses to the 3D virtual tours, Darren goes above and beyond for his clients, is why he ends up at a closing table more than anyone else. If you need to sell your home, you need Darren James. Agent225.com, agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
I'm lawyer Collins Locke Meredith. Among the most important factors to consider when you're hiring an injury attorney is trust. You trust your attorney will put your interest first, treat you with respect, fairness, and honesty. You trust them to be there for you when you need them. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, thousands of clients have trusted us to represent them, and for good reasons. Please visit us at LockeMeredith.com to learn more, and whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has the new 25 Jeep Grand Cherokee with $15,000 off MSRP.
Plus the 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou vehicles.
If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Look, back pain can sideline you from the things you love. That's why I trust Dr. Kevin McCarthy and the team at the Spine Center of Louisiana. Dr. McCarthy doesn't just treat symptoms. He gets to the root of the problem. From advanced injection therapy to minimally invasive surgery, they've got the expertise to get you back in the game. With 5 locations across Louisiana, including right here in Baton Rouge, quality care is close to home. Call the Spine Center of Louisiana or visit SpineCenterLA.com.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Man, age is just a number.
Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Ever wonder why cane sauce doesn't come in a pre-sealed packet? It's because it's made fresh inside every Raising Cane's every single day. Because when you make it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
Patrick Pace on the text line. Brennan Sorsby bet on himself. Probably too soon, but pretty good.
Is it too soon?
Yeah. I mean, it was literally today.
Nah, I think it's good. All in good fun.
The problem I have is him saying he's addicted to gambling because he's made thousands of bets. I've absolutely made thousands of bets. I'm not addicted to gambling. I just make the bets that Otter gives us every day, and I've done that for years. I just make the bets, but I make very small bets with the money in the account. That's not affecting my life in any way. It's just play money that's in there. Like I'm not. I mean, if you were to tell me Sorsby was like in massive amounts of debt because he keeps stealing money from people to be able to gamble, now that's an addiction. That's a problem.
Yeah.
But if you're just gambling a lot because you like to sports bet, like I do and like you do and like a lot of people do, that's not an addiction. I think that's probably the cover to try to get him to retain his eligibility, but I wouldn't buy that at all. And the rules are you sports bet. If you're in college and you bet on college football or pros, you lose your eligibility. The kid should not be playing. Period. He should not be playing. He's out of eligibility. You are disqualified. Sucks. But who's the kid from Iowa State?
Deckers.
Decker.
The Saints.
Decker.
He was a Saint.
With the Saints. Hunter Deckers. Happened to him. He had to go play JUCO or whatever it was. So, sorry, not sorry. So you broke a rule. Are we going to have rules or not? I'm all for, listen, I'm the guy who's all for everybody making all the money you want. I'm the guy for having your eligibility and transfer as much as you want. But you've got to abide by the rules. Like, there are rules, abide by them. If you don't abide by the rules, then there should be consequences. You can't sports bet. He did. He should be ineligible. Muso, Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
We're going to start with NBA playoff action from a night ago. Tyree Wilson went off in a start for the Houston Rockets. A gotta-have a game for Houston. They got it, 115. Eason drops 20, shot 70% from the floor, 8 boards. How about 5 steals to go along with Eason as well? He was the second leading scorer on his team, and the Rockets got a 115-96 win. Aaron Nola took it on the chin against the Atlanta Braves. They've kind of had his number really throughout his career. 4 2/3, 6 earned, walked 3, and struck out 6. Got the loss. Sits at 1-3 here so far on the season. Jordan Hill off to a really nice start this season with the Rockies. His sixth His 6th hold of the season, come after a shutout inning, punched out 1. Rockies went on to get the win. Cade Anderson and Anfernee Jennings. My goodness. So Cade Anderson had a rain-shortened start over the weekend. That was on Saturday. Pitched 4 2/3 shutout. Didn't walk anybody. Punched out 8. Gave up a hit. You're looking at 18 2/3 innings, 4 starts so far for Anderson. 4 walks, 30 Ks, and an ERA of 0.48. That's at Double-A. Anfernee Jennings, 4 1/3, 1 hit, shutout, no walks, 9 punch-outs. He's in high A with Greenville. 16 2/3 innings. He has yet to walk a batter in 4 starts.
It's such a waste of time.
27 punch-outs.
God, A-ball.
0.54. Move them both up.
It was playing as high schoolers.
I mean, bro, he hasn't walked anybody
He left
yet.
the SEC and went down in competition.
Yeah, he did.
A-ball is such a joke.
And he's also throwing 100 now. So yeah, that's the thing. That's Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Yo, Mother's Day is a little more than a week away. Like, don't screw it up, guys. Well, I guess you're a little less than 2 weeks is what I should say. Don't screw it up. Mom is taking care of you forever. She wiped your booty. She held you in her womb. She carried you around in her belly and fed you and clothed you and took care of you. Give her something nice from Lee Michaels. LMFJ.com. 9 locations all over Louisiana and online at LMFJ.com. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. LMFJ.com. All right, David Dellucci coming up right after Sports Center. Y'all stick around. Hour 3 next.
AFR.
We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, WilliamsonEye.com. You know, I talk about the Williamson Eye Center all the time. I really love talking about Dr. Blake Williamson. I texted Dr. Blake last week. I had a friend who was having an issue, and I just needed some advice what to recommend to this person. And Dr. Blake very generously replied, thorough and very interested and cares deeply. I mean, he's a super talented ophthalmologist. I mean, I've told you this before, but people come from all over the region to the Williamson Eye Center to have Dr. Blake perform their vision correction surgery. He goes all over the world and lectures. Follow the Williamson Eye Center Instagram. You'll see it. He goes all over the world and lectures because he's on the forefront of all this stuff. He's a genuinely great person as well who cares about his patients, and you'll get that when you meet him. It's Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020 or WilliamsonEye.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Investing in a new roof doesn't have to be overwhelming. At Pelican Roofing, we offer 0 interest for 21 months because everyone deserves a safe, secure home. Trusted, local, affordable. Pelican Roofing, making quality roofing affordable for South Louisiana families.
Jordan Faber here with some exciting news. Faber Automotive has officially arrived. We're proud to introduce your new hometown dealership, Faber Chevrolet GMC. That means more inventory, better deals, and the same great local team. Now backed by the trusted Faber family name. Whether you're shopping or servicing, you'll feel the difference from day one. Allow us the opportunity to earn your business.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Visit us in St. Francisville or online at FabryChevrolet.com.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. We are honored and humbled to receive from our clients in Google, based on 5-star client reviews, the designation of our law firm is highly recommended. Whether you hire us at all, please give us a call, 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. Injuries happen when you least expect them to, making your life more complicated. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates, we know this, and we strive to help each of our clients during these times. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Nick Dellucci. Monday Night Baseball about to get going. The Red Sox with a chance to win 3 straight for the first time all season in Toronto tonight. Fired manager Alex Cora over the weekend after a 10-17 start. ESPN Radio's Randy Scott says the Red Sox have a roster problem.
You spent your money poorly and you're blaming the chef. And the chef has already won you awards, a World Series, when you spent the money the right way with a competent general manager. This was the red wedding in Boston.
Before first pitch, Blue Jays placing starter Max Scherzer on the 15-day IL with forearm tendonitis and ankle inflammation. Scherzer has a 9.64 ERA in 5 starts. College football, Texas Tech transfer QB Brendan Sorsby going on indefinite leave to receive treatment for a gambling addiction. Placed thousands of online bets on a variety of sports on a gambling app. Was the #1 player in ESPN's transfer portal rankings. Threw for 27 touchdowns and just 5 interceptions last year at Cincinnati.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive can help you protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, and RV, and more. And if something wasn't mentioned that you had in mind, find out if it can be covered at Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE, because it probably can be.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
That's right!
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Muso. And Mr. Toby Tom play. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. Give you an LSU NFL draft roundup. We talked about Nuss in hour number 1. We talked about Monsieur Delane on Friday. Kind of talk about everybody else. Do that coming up here in about 15 minutes. Every Monday, we recap the weekend that was in the Southeastern Conference on the Diamond with our buddy David Dellucci from the SEC Network. Good enough to hang here. Luch, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
It's our pleasure. Okay, so there was one sweep this weekend. LSU, the 3rd consecutive week. You got anything?
Man, look, I mean, you can hit the repeat button from our conversations, maybe the last 3 or 4 weeks. It's just team battled, man. You got to tip your cap to them. They hung in there. It was a raucous stadium, Super Bulldog weekend. They got 13,000 fans on game 1, and that was a game that was moved up into business hours. So electric atmosphere. Tigers just couldn't hold on to a lead all 3 games. And the good news, if you're looking for some silver lining, is some of the young players got to experience the atmosphere and playing in that situation, which is good for development, not only for next year, but for the stretch run of the season. So tough one to swallow, but I like the way the team battled.
Yeah, weird to be in April and to be talking about next year for LSU. But that's, I mean, Luch, barring them winning the SEC tournament, that's what this is now.
It's not mathematically out, okay? But
Luch,
when you look at things,
I love your optimism so much.
I'm trying, Matt. I'm trying.
No,
I'm trying.
you listen. I call myself Luch. I call myself an optimistic realist. Yeah. I love to look at life through an optimist lens and believe in people and all that sort of stuff. I'm also a realist, and LSU finding a way into the postseason. The only way is to win the SEC tournament, right? I mean, they're not winning a series at Georgia. They've got South Carolina. Even if do the math, right? Even if they sweep South Carolina this week, that gets them at 9. You have to win series at Georgia and home against Florida just to get to 13 to be a maybe.
And it's the RPI too, like the RPI. And look, Vanderbilt is battling the same situation. There's a really good chance that Vanderbilt is going to have the wins. You want at least 12. You'd feel a little better with 13, 14. You kind of shoe in playing in the Southeastern Conference. But the RPI, man, and you get into a point of the year where teams do it every year. They look at the midweek games and go, gosh darn, if we would have done this against McNeese State or Sacramento State or whatever, you hate to be in that situation. And you're also scoreboard watching too. You're seeing what other teams are doing, and that's a miserable place to be in. But there's still a lot of games. And you're building for a stretch run in Hoover. And LSU does really, really well every time they go to the SEC tournament.
I'm trying to think if there's something, if you watched LSU this weekend, that is a positive you would take away. I guess the only thing has to be the freshmen. But what did you see from those guys?
Mature at bats. I just see glimpses of the star players that they're going to be in the future, and like I dive into an at bat, and I look at everything from the way they take a borderline pitch and how they handle themselves in key situations. And you've got to be happy when you think about Omar Cerna, and he's hitting .314 right now. Just a really, really talented young man that's going to get even better. Mason Braun, gosh darn, you'd love to build your program around a guy like that. Ruckert, former Catholic High guy, is another guy that's going to be really good. So I just think, you want to win every single game. You want to win every single inning, but you want to see these guys mature and get a bunch of at-bats under their belt. And unfortunately, they haven't had a whole bunch of playing time. But to get in there and do well, that's one of the most difficult roles in baseball, is to not get consistent live at-bats and then get thrown in there and play really well. So I think they're going to mature as we get closer to the end of the season and turn into superstar players. This may be an opportunity that they wouldn't have had if LSU was playing better. It may end up better for everybody in the long run.
Luch, what happened to Alabama this weekend, losing that road series to Tennessee?
They're very similar to LSU. Like they're talented, and it's a team that you don't want to play if they play up to their potential. But then all of a sudden, they make these mistakes and errors that lead to big rallies for the other team. And Alabama took game one. They've got the number 2 strength of schedule in the country. So you're like, this is a team that's going to host. All they have to do is finish on a solid note. And then they get boat raced, run ruled in game 2, and then boat raced in game 3. And it's because of walks and errors. Very, very similar to LSU. Wild pitches, hit by pitches, just things that if you can control that and not give the other team the extra outs, especially in the SEC, everybody can capitalize on it. And the other thing with Alabama is their superstars, Justin LeBron. He's hitting around 250. He's just not playing well defensively and offensively. And every team needs their superstar to step up and be a producer. And it's coming mostly from freshmen on the Alabama team, not Justin LeBron.
David Dellucci, SEC Network. Georgia's 15-6, leading the league. A&M, Texas, Mississippi State, all kind of clumped right behind him. Which of those do you think has the best chance of maybe giving Georgia a run for their money in the league title?
The way A&M is playing is just really fun to watch if you're an average fan. I think that's the team that everybody needs to keep an eye on. Texas is good. Mississippi State is good, but A&M is rolling at the right time. It starts with their leadoff hitter, Gavin Grohovac. I think he's hitting .375, 14 home runs. He's hit 12 home runs since March 28th. I mean, this dude is on a tear. And then Jordan Wilson, which LSU fans got an opportunity to see when he came over here. Right fielder's got a cannon of an arm, hit a couple more home runs in the series this weekend. from top to bottom, they're solid. And Caden Sorrell, who's been on, I think, 18 home runs for a couple of weeks, he's kind of hit a slump, but everybody around him has picked up the slack. And they're getting good pitching outings too. Aiden Sims, even Weston Moss threw the ball real well. So that is a team that's playing inspired baseball, and they've hit their strides at the right time.
Dave Dellucci, SEC Network, is our guest. Talk SEC baseball here every Monday on AFR. Unfortunate for the Tigers. Not a great week, not a great month for LSU. Do the Aggies have enough pitching to make a postseason run?
They do. Shane Sadejo, who is their game one starter, he's been pitching better as of late, but their bullpen has really stepped up, and their closer, Fresh Corn, is a legit closer. He doesn't throw 97, 99 miles an hour, but he's got good tempo. A couple other pieces in that bullpen have really stepped up over the last couple weeks, and it was a Florida series that Florida is an extremely talented team. You don't know what you're going to get from one day to the next, but if you hang pitches over the plate, those guys are going to hit them out of the ballpark. And A&M they outdueled them. They outdueled Aiden King and Liam Peterson, who are two top-tier aces in the country. And it's easier on a pitching staff when you know your team's going to put up 10 runs every single time you go out there to go throw strikes, because you're not trying to win by one run and you're not putting pressure on your defense. So good pitching comes from powerful offense as well.
David Dellucci, SEC Network. Make sure you catch Rally Cap on Sundays after the baseball weekend. The softball weekend has finished. Hangs out with us here on Mondays, talk a little baseball. We always appreciate you, Luch. Thanks, man.
Yep, thanks for having me.
All right, be well. It's after. Oh, he was trailing us and hang in there. We're good, man. Like the getting has been good here for a long time. To say it often, like when you go through the muck, it makes the glory that much better. When you go through the suck, the losses, it makes achieving great things that much better. So you grin and bear it while this is awful, but realize you got the right guy in Jay Johnson, and in time you'll be better for it. Hey, we're brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service. ShawbillsTire.com. ShawbillsTire.com. Name brand tires at wholesale prices, and they treat you like family. Y'all, we're getting close to summer. Means a lot of people going to be hitting the road, taking that family vacation. If that's you, make sure you bring the thing to Shawbills before you hit the road. Shawbills Tire and Auto Service. They'll sell you the best tires at the cheapest price. They even have 6-month financing with 0 interest going on right now at Shawbills. You can learn more on all the deets at the website, ShawbillsTire.com. Hit the promotions tab at the top of the page. Check out social media. They got the post there as well. 6-month interest-free financing available. All the deets are at ShawbillsTire.com. ShawbillsTire.com. Shawbills! We keep you rolling. It wasn't all bad for Jay Johnson this weekend because while they were in Mississippi after being swept by Mississippi State, Jay found his way down to see an elite-level prospect and got a commitment. I'll tell you about that coming up. And I also want to recap the LSU draft. We talked about Nuss in Hour 1. We talked about Mansour Delane on Friday. We'll talk about the rest of the guys and where they landed. We'll get to that next on AFR.
After further review.
Rev Fiber. You know, fiber gets things moving. And Rev Fiber moves your internet at lightning fast speeds. How about that? Just out here handing out free marketing advice for our friends over at Rev. REV. RevFiber.com. RevFiber.com. I don't get a ding or anything. Sleep at the wheel. Nothing. Little hi-hat. Little rim shot. Boom. Take it. We'll take it. Rev Fiber. So look, home or business. We're talking internet service provider. We're talking home automation. We're talking security. We're talking phone. We're talking cable. Rev can do all of it. You get great local service, a local company that's been around for 90 years, and an all-fiber network with lightning-fast speeds. That's more cost effective. Check them out today, revfiber.com. Revfiber.com.
It's not easy to be a champion.
It's built from every swing, pitch, and game all season long. In the grind, the focus,
and in the recovery.
FMOL Health, Our Lady of the Lake experts provide best-in-class care for our state's world-class athletes. Because it takes a champion to care for champions.
I trust the lake to keep me at my best.
From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer, we know hard work starts with the right equipment. Right now, take advantage of the powerful 3025E tractor with loader for just $297 a month, with 0% financing for 72 months. Whether you're tackling land, property, or projects, this is the tractor built to get it done. Don't wait. This offer ends April 30th, 2026. Visit sunequip.com or stop by a Sunshine location today.
I'm lawyer Collins Locke Meredith. Among the most important factors to consider when you're hiring an injury attorney is trust. You trust your attorney will put your interest first, treat you with respect, fairness, and honesty. You trust them to be there for you when you need them. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, thousands of clients have trusted us to represent them, and for good reasons. Please visit us at LockeMeredith.com to learn more, and whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Hi, this is Beth Torina. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
For months, made the comment that the NFL draft would be the biggest indictment on the LSU, the 2025 LSU football team. It was very likely you were going to approach double-digit players drafted, and you'd look back at a very talented football team that ended up not achieving what many, yours truly, and I think a lot of people thought they would. I mean, they were a preseason top 10 team who beat Clemson, got all the way up to number 3 in the country, and we know what unfolded after that, of course. Nussmeier with we now know the cyst on his spine and being limited, and Brian Kelly being fired. You know the whole story. Well, in all, 7 LSU players were drafted. And listen, I'm not an analyst that covers all 32 NFL teams, so I can't tell you specifically how Xavier Thomas fits in with the Bears. I'm fired up for him that he went in round 3. You know, Monster Delane went 6 overall. A.J. Halsey was the next player taken. By the way, his pick was announced by Pat McAfee, which is pretty cool. You have that? This was a Halsey getting announced by Pat McAfee.
With the 78th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, live from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the Indianapolis Colts select A.J. Halsey, DB out of LSU.
It's a really good pick, man. Love A.J. Halsey. He looks more like a linebacker than he does a safety. Great instincts, as we saw this year. Great ball skills, physical player. can help in the run game. Maybe not the most athletic. I would say Halsey is a super high floor NFL player. Maybe not the ceiling that a safety like Caleb Downs would have, or Grant Delpit, or you look at some of the top safeties in the NFL. Maybe not that ceiling, but a very high floor, a guy that'll play a long time in the NFL. So congrats to A.J. Halsey in round 3. Xavier Thomas in round 3 to the Chicago Bears. Ran a sub 4.340, and that clearly just elevated his stock in the minds of many. And so now you pair him there with Caleb Williams and another potential step for another toy for Ben Johnson in that offense. Probably surprised many that Bauer Sharp was the next Tiger off the board. But when you get late into the draft, teams take flyers on players, and sometimes it's about fit, and sometimes it's about not wanting to have to convince a guy as a UDFA to sign with you when the player has the decision. So Bauer Sharp, gets taken by the Buccaneers in round 6, and then Berrien Brown gets selected by the Saints, as we talked about. I think it's a great fit in New Orleans after the Saints traded Rashid Shaheed a year ago to the Seahawks, and you lost your return man. I mean, you saw Mason Tipton and Devin Neal and Kendre Miller and a lot of different players return kicks for New Orleans. Dante Pettis. Well, now you got a guy that is the SEC all-time record holder for kickoff returns for a touchdown. That makes a lot of sense for Berrien Brown. If he slots in as a receiver, great, but mostly he's there as a specialist for you. The last two are the most intriguing, obviously, because they were the highest profile outside of Mansour Delane. It's Harold Perkins and Garrett Nussmeier. We talked a good bit about Nuss going in round 7. Just very clearly the injury is what took Garrett off of a lot of teams' boards. And he's got a great opportunity. I'd much rather be a 7th rounder to Cincinnati, or excuse me, a 7th rounder to Kansas City with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid than a 3rd rounder to the Jets or the Cardinals. Terrible organizations that are not going to put you in a good spot. Sure, he'd have an opportunity to play there. He's not going to have an opportunity to play in Kansas City. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is coming off a knee injury, so there'll be a lot of reps in the offseason work for Garrett Nussmeier. He'll have a great opportunity to make the team, but it's Patrick Mahomes' team. He's nowhere near retirement. Perkins is obviously an interesting one as a 4-year guy at LSU. He's just a classic tweener. As an freshman All-American back in 2023, and then, we just or 2022, excuse me. And then he tried to make himself into an off-ball linebacker. That didn't work. And then he bulked up before the 2024 season and unfortunately tore his ACL and missed the bulk of that season. Comes back last year. They move him to star, which is more natural habitat. He did a nice season. He stayed healthy and he was productive. There's just a giant question about Perkins where he fits in the NFL. It's not a new conversation. He's not big and physical enough to be a 3-down off-the-ball linebacker. He's certainly not big enough to be an edge rusher that's going to line up against a 320-pound tackle. And he's not good enough in coverage to be a safety. So he's just a tweener. So he's going to Atlanta. He's a phenomenal athlete. They're just going to have to find a role for him that makes sense in that defense. And if they can, they got a special athlete and a good kid and a young person with a great attitude and good work ethic and all that stuff. It's just a matter of Atlanta finding a role for Perkins that makes sense. And LSU had a handful of UDFAs as well. You probably know them by now, but it's Bernard Gooden to the Browns, West Weeks to the Colts, Jack Pyburn to the Bucks, Josh Thompson to the Chiefs, Aaron Anderson to the Browns, Chris Hilton to the Commanders, and Jacobian Guillory to the Chargers. And, I think about it, back to where we started talking about this, the draft being an indictment on this team. You signed 3 portal defensive ends. None of them were drafted. Patrick Payton, Jack Pyburn, and Jamari Butler. And only one signed a UDFA deal so far, and that's Jack Pyburn. Weeks and Anderson were guys that spent multiple years here, but were transfers, neither drafted. Berrien Brown, 6th round. Xavier went round 3, but really it's because he ran a 4.28 in the 40. Josh Thompson was your second. I mean, he and Braylon Moore were your most productive offensive linemen, undrafted. It was just a very disappointing portal year for LSU, obviously. You spent a lot of money on that team and a lot of money on guys that had not only experience, but were productive Power 4 football players that came to LSU last season, and it just didn't work out. The other thing that I think is fascinating, if you look at the number of players drafted by school in this draft, they should be really frustrated there in Columbus, Ohio, because Ohio State led the way with 11 drafted players. They made the playoff, but obviously didn't win a championship. Bama and Texas A&M each had 10, both playoff teams. 3 teams had 9. Clemson, Miami, and Texas Tech. Well, Miami and Texas Tech were playoff teams. Clemson was not. Georgia, Indiana, and Penn State had 8 players drafted. Georgia, Indiana, playoff teams. Penn State was not. And then with 7, Iowa, LSU, Oregon, Washington, Florida, and Oklahoma. So Oklahoma and Oregon were playoff teams, had 7 guys drafted. Iowa, LSU, Washington, Florida were not, and a couple of those got their coach fired. You look at that in context and you can realize who should be happy and who should not, based on the talent they had. I mean, Clemson had 9 players drafted, right in line with Miami and Texas Tech. They didn't make the playoff. They were 7-6. Penn State had 8 players drafted, right in line with Georgia and Indiana, who won the national championship. Penn State fired their coach, had a losing season. So I think what this shows is LSU had a talented roster comparable with teams that made the college football playoff. They just didn't get enough production out of that roster. Coaching, buy-in, system, injuries, all of it plays a role. But that's a pretty clear indication there. If you're wondering, Ole Miss had 2 players drafted. That's the only other team. And aside from Tulane and James Madison, who had none, because Tulane and James Madison don't belong anywhere near the college football playoff. And we all know that to be objectively true. I'm just the one who will sit here and scream it from the mountaintops, who has a platform that's willing to say it and not worry if you offend Tulane or James Madison. Fine football teams, no business being in the college football playoff whatsoever. So you're robbing legitimate schools that play a real schedule with real players. You're robbing them of an opportunity to compete for a championship, to placate schools that have no business being there, and are just there to cash a check. It's just a financial decision. Stupid. Anyway, but Ole Miss with 2 is the outlier, which I think is a major hat tip to Lane Kiffin. For all of the success he's had in building great offenses, his teams have not had the high-level team success that's normally associated with the best coaches. That's an objective fact. I've said this when Lane Kiffin got hired. The only thing Lane Kiffin has won is a couple of CUSA titles when he was at FAU as a head coach. He was a preseason number 1 at Southern Cal and got fired. He was at Tennessee for 1 year. They won 7 games. At Ole Miss, he won games at Ole Miss at a clip that they've never won there before, but never at a national champion level. And the team in 24 that set the program record for most players drafted in a season went 9-3. They threw up on themselves in 3 games they had no business losing. This was the team where you look at Lane and say, I think that's the year where he made the big step as a head coach. Because that Ole Miss team with 2 guys drafted had no business being 11-1 and going to the college football playoff. But they did. And that's a major credit to Lane Kiffin. Whether he were the LSU coach today or not, I would say you'd have to acknowledge that. It's like the larger the sample size grow, you can either confirm or disconfirm beliefs. Remember, I've said this often, but remember when Clemsoning was a thing? I mean, that was the label that Dabo had at Clemson, was Clemsoning. And then they started winning national championships, and nobody says it anymore. And I think it's probably something similar with Lane. They'd win games. They'd pull some upsets. They'd go to a nice bowl game. But they were never contenders nationally. And when they finally had the roster to be in 2024, they choked 3 games they had no business losing. But this was the year in 25 with a less talented roster that they broke through. Now he's going to have a really talented roster at LSU. See if you can build on it. All right, it's after further review. Glad you're hanging out with us here. Monday edition of AFR, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, shutters, and shades. It's Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. We're not going to quick break, y'all. Come back. Saturday, speaking of Lane Kiffin, Saturday I was at the NILSU Max Gala. I'll tell you about it. It's a big-time fundraiser, obviously, for LSU in a very integral time and pivotal time when you need to raise money. So it's a good room. I want to talk about the Saints UDFAs as well, who maybe has a shot to make this team. We'll knock that around a bit. We're glad you're hanging out with us. Jimmy will be here for Auto Locks in about 15 minutes. Stick around. It's AFR.
After further review.
91 degrees today, y'all. 91 degrees. You know what doesn't feel good? 91 and humid. You know what does feel good? 91 and humid, and they go jumping in your pool. You want to make that dream a reality? Call Duplessis Pools. My buddy Derek Duplessis over at Duplessis Pools, he will build you a beautiful pool. Now, there's a lot of companies that will. Any design you want, all the different finishes and features, water features, lights, the whole thing, the whole nine, the lounge ledge, all that sort of stuff. They can do all of it. Resort-style pool, custom everything. You can do everything. The biggest difference with Duplessis Pools is the quality. Industry standard, 1-year workmanship warranty. Duplessis Pools offers a 10-year workmanship warranty. DuplessisBuilders.net, DuplessisBuilders.net.
Ever wonder why cane sauce doesn't come in a pre-sealed packet? It's because it's made fresh inside every Raising Cane's every single day. Because when you make it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
At Parrish, we take pride in building roofs that last because championships are built on commitment, not just on the floor or the court, but your home too.
Parrish Construction and Roofing. ParrishBuilt.com.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, we know each case and client are unique, and that no 2 cases are the same. But one thing remains constant, and that is our passion to help our clients. After an accident, we know your life has changed, which is why we passionately fight to make you and your family whole. Remember, whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. We're here to serve you.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit LouisianaPropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish Contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
Got to spend part of my Saturday over at LSU football ops at the indoor facility, a place I've been many, many, many times. First time, as I recall, though, being in the indoor facility in a suit. Shout out to Haspel, by the way. It was supposed to be Saturday night. The NILSU Max Gala was supposed to be in Tiger Stadium. With the threat of rain, they made the decision earlier in the week to move it to the indoor facility. And I'll tell you this. The novelty of being at an event on the field in Tiger Stadium, not in the stadium club, like on the field in Tiger Stadium. The novelty of being at an event in Tiger Stadium is pretty cool. You know what's better? Air conditioned when it's 85 degrees and you're wearing a suit. That is can we agree? Like, that is a much better option.
That tracks. And also not getting wet potentially as well. That matters too.
It didn't rain.
Okay.
However, I did learn that while they were setting up, they had the roll doors in the, have like the roll up garage doors in the indoor. So while they're set up, they had those doors up. Well, naturally put it down, turn the AC on. Well, humidity, AC breeds condensation. So when I was sat down in my chair with the pad on the metal chair, the condensation, nobody knew, and so I'm like, why is my ass wet? I'm like, I'm not sweating. I was like, oh, it's and like we're looking around like everybody's chair.
Because Louisiana. That's why.
That's why. Something to plan for next year. Maybe perhaps let's leave the chairs inside a little bit longer. Don't have the roll doors up. But anyway, great night. I think that the Max, the NILSU Max crew did a great job putting it on. They brought out all the trophies. So they had, by the way, this thing. There's me with the national championship trophy. Everybody holds up the golden ice cream cone. Have you ever held it?
No.
So my first time, the golden ice cream cone doesn't look too heavy.
Yeah.
Right? People hold it up. This, as you could tell, has the golden ice cream cone and the base.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, that whole contraption there, £110 pounds.
Okay. I thought that's where you were going to go, probably about 100 pounds.
I was not prepared for it to be that heavy. I mean, held if I went, I was like, oh man, I just didn't realize that it was that heavy. It was a great picture, great photo op. And the other thing that was really cool is, so at this event, the shout out to the Bocock brothers. They did premium cigars specifically for the Just Different event. If you go to bocockbrothers.com and buy cigars, use the code MATT15. MATT15, MATT15, 15% off your order. Another cool thing about this event is the cool thing about the event is a lot of the coaches were there, and so the coaches sit at the table with the guests, right? So you buy a table, and then coaches sit with you. At our table, so I got to meet all of the new a lot of the new. There's a lot of them, but I got to meet quite a few of the new LSU assistant coaches that had come from Ole Miss or from other places. And the two coaches that were at our table were Sawyer Jordan, who's the inside receivers coach, and Joe Houston, who's the new special teams coach, who came over from Florida. He was there with Billy Napier. And previously had been at the Patriots with Bill Belichick in New England. Two really, really bright guys and great people who are thrilled to be at LSU. Sawyer Jordan is 30. He's getting married this week, told me, so congrats to him. Now that spring's over, I think it's Saturday, maybe Friday or Saturday this week, he and his fiancée are getting married. And then Joe Houston, I mean, I want to get him on the show. I hope to get him on the show so he can tell this story, but Lane doesn't really allow his assistants to do interviews. But Joe told me the story, a guy who went to Southern Cal, has a finance degree, was working in L.A. in finance, and just after 9 months hated it. So went and was working, took a JUCO job coaching and was working at a pizza place. Like, how about that? Like, you want to talk about, so we kind of traded stories about, like, I don't think a lot of people, I tell people all the time, like, young people that want to get into this profession, media. I've told Muse this, I've told everybody. What's the thing I say about media all the time, Muse? You've heard me say it.
You said a lot of things, but I'm guessing you're going with you're not going to make a whole lot when you get in there. You might have to work 2 jobs. You're going to eat a lot of ramen noodles, things of that nature.
What I always tell people is it just sucks until it doesn't anymore. It just does. I mean, whenever I'll go talk to college students or whatever, with a college degree, I worked 5 years in media before I had a full-time job. And it paid me $27,000. That was after 5 years of experience with a college degree. It just sucks until it doesn't anymore. But it has a way of weeding out people who don't actually want to do it. And don't want to persevere through the suck to get to the good. And it was interesting listening to Joe kind of tell those stories. Like, this guy with a degree from Southern Cal was working in finance in LA and hated it and decided to go work at a pizza place so he can coach JUCO. And then fast forward, he starts getting big time jobs. Bill Belichick hires him with the Patriots. He was with Saban. He gets hired by the Patriots. Belichick hires him. Then he ends up at Florida with Napier, and now he's at LSU. I mean, it's an incredible story. So, really bright guys too. All I'd say is my first impression of some of these guys, and really impressive group. The ones I got to meet. You know, a lot of them I've heard of and talked about, but haven't yet met, because even though we're out there at practice, you're not talking to the coaches during practice, and Lane's the only one that does interviews. So it was a nice opportunity to get to know a lot of these guys. Will be working with the staff. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. And as far as finances, I was told they raised more money than they did a year ago, which is great. You keep building on it every year, and we all know the importance of revenue right now, and so keep driving it up. We're brought to you by Parish Restoration, parishrestoration.com. Kill mold, remove odor. Just tell you the combination of humidity, right? Like wet and humid, breeding ground for mold. That's why Louisiana is the mold capital of the world. If you want to knock mold out, think you have black mold or mite, Parish Restoration can help. They'll come spray their patented non-toxic dry fog. All you got to do is go to parishrestoration.com, parishrestoration.com, parishrestoration.com. It's mold remediation done right the first time. Go to the website, fill out the form on the homepage. They give you a free estimate. It's more cost-effective. It's more efficient. It's more effective. It's Parish Restoration. Parishrestoration.com. Parishrestoration.com. Before we break and get to Jimmy for Otterlocks, this is massive. Prep Baseball Mississippi was the first to report it. I have since been able to confirm that Colby Stringer has committed to LSU. You may not know that name, and that's fine. Colby Stringer is one of the top prep pitching prospects in America. He's from Mississippi, from Marion, West Marion, and he committed to LSU over Mississippi State and Ole Miss. He had previously been committed to Pearl River, a community college. This is a really interesting one because we're all conditioned to go, well, he's going to sign in the draft. Probably not. There's always the risk. But this is a guy who, like, the most respected baseball people I know, like the people who are the longest term scouts that I have the utmost respect for their baseball mind, acumen, abilities, rave about this kid. His stats this year, and his high school season's done, by the way. He was 12-0 with a 0.3 ERA. 65 2/3 innings pitched. He allowed just 19 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned. In 65 innings pitched, he allowed 4 earned runs. He struck out 166 and walked just 20. He did not, of the 19 hits, He did not allow an extra base hit all year. 19 singles. That's it. Dude. And the thing I think I love the most, aside from the strike throwing ability, he's self-made. He's just a country kid. He taught himself how to, he didn't go to any of the showcases, didn't go to any of the big schools or camps. He's just a self-made kid who taught himself to pitch by watching YouTube videos. And is, as I was told, did not take the biggest NIL offer, just wanted to play for Jay Johnson. And Hunt was telling me that after the game on Sunday, Jay was telling Bill Franquez, I don't know if Hunt said this on the air. I guess it's fine to say now, obviously. But Jay apparently didn't ride the bus with the team. He said, I got to go see a recruit. I think pretty clear the recruit he was going to see was Colby Stringer, and Jay got the commit. So this is a massive, massive get. And because Stringer didn't do the whole camp circuit and all the the all-star games and all the stuff, right? Most teams don't have extensive evaluations of Stringer. And so it's probably a thing where he's maybe like he's projected as like a 5th round guy. And that's probably not going to be enough to keep him from campus. So this is a guy who will be pitching for LSU next year, very likely will be pitching for LSU next year. And a realistic expectation is pushing for the number 3 spot on the weekend. And if not, low end, the midweek or leverage bullpen arm. And a guy that you think is going to be high projection. So really, really excited about it, man. I've been talking, I've had several scout friends telling me about this guy for several months now as he started to accelerate and ascend through his high school season. And my goodness, the way that people I trust gush about him, it's a very exciting thing for a staff that needs consistent strike throwers. Here's one. The Cavalry's on the way next year. All right, it's after further review. Let me knock out our final break of the show. We'll come back. Jimmy will do Outer Lock. Stay here.
AFR.
Get Gordon. Get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. You've been injured in an accident. It's not your fault. Do what injured people in our state have done for 3 decades. Get Gordon and get it done. Hey, Thursday is the deadline. Thursday is the deadline. Gordon's Grads. The Gordon McKernan laptop giveaway. Gordon does this every year around high school graduation. 15 laptops or MacBooks that he gives away to graduating Louisiana high school seniors that are off to 2 or 4-year colleges or trade school. If you want to enter, if it's you, maybe it's your son, your daughter, niece, nephew, grandson, granddaughter, friend, neighbor, whoever it is, a graduating high school senior from a Louisiana high school, tell them to log on to gordonsgrads.com, gordonsgrads.com to see if they can get more information about how they can enter to win one of these laptops or MacBooks. Good luck from Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Get Gordon and get it done.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish Contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
It's not easy to be a champion.
It's built from every swing, pitch, and game all season long.
In the grind, the focus,
and in the recovery.
FMOL Health, Our Lady of the Lake experts provide best-in-class care for our state's world-class athletes. Because it takes a champion to care for champions.
I trust the lake to keep me at my best.
From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs. Set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free confidential help now.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
Down the stretch we come. Final segment on a Monday edition of AFR presented by Relief Windows. One thing left to do, find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Total Maintenance AC Repair. Same-day service means you will never sleep hot. 480-1000. We are Total Maintenance.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
Hey, Otter.
Hey.
Muse was wondering if on tomorrow's Live at Lunch, y'all heading out to Lubbock for new contributor Brendan Sorsby joining the show, giving his best bets?
No. You gotta. Yeah, I don't.
Muse out here throwing darts. Dagger!
I think Brandon Sorsby's eligibility could be in question,
Could
to say
be.
the least.
If
So,
that, I mean,
yeah.
like, there's a black and white rule. If you bet on sports, you're
Right.
done. Like, it happened to Hunter Deckers. Like, he's done.
Right.
Sorry, Texas Tech. He's done. And if he's not, burn the whole thing down.
So yeah, and I tell you what, I don't think the NFL is going to mess with him a lot either. So no, it's a bad situation. So and he kind of did the investigation for the NCAA. Maybe they can really strengthen their muscles after he checks into a facility. So admitting to what he's done, and everything's on record, everything's mobile, everything's traced.
Yeah.
So it's not done with the the corner bookie. So. There you go. We got 4 games for you tonight. First of all, 2 in the NBA. We're going to go with the Orlando Magic plus the 3.5 at home against Detroit. Forget the 1-8 seed. This has been one where 5 of the 6 halves have been won by Orlando. Only game 2 that second half where Detroit blew them out and went on like that 30-0 run. But Orlando, where defensive pressure intensifies, less guys can get their shots off. Orlando's got about 3 or 4 guys that can get their shot off, create their own shot. Not so much for the Pistons. So Pistons, they're getting in a tough spot here. So we'll take the 3.5 with Orlando at home. Minnesota has 3-1 lead over Denver. Denver's got all kinds of issues. I understand that with Jokic. I mean, what a kind of a Bush League move by him to go attack the guy in a layup. So he's frustrated. But, man, without Ant-Man, without DiVincenzo at Denver, elimination game, give me the Nuggets. I know it's a big number here, minus 11.5, though. Major exhale spot for Minnesota. I think this series could come down to game 6 in Minnesota, but this one will go all to Denver. So laying a big price, we know it. We're looking for Denver to get right against the undermanned Minnesota T-Wolves. Major League Baseball got 1 game tonight. Minnesota at home against Seattle. Seattle's been a major disappointment this time. So has Luis Castillo, the veteran right-hander. Wonder if he's finally hitting the wall. So He has gotten hit hard this year for Seattle. We're going to take Minnesota in at 1 in hockey. The Penguins in Game 5 tonight, back at home against Philadelphia.
1 minute remaining.
They're down 3-1. They were down 3-0. Look for them to force a Game 6 back in Philadelphia after a win at home tonight.
Where are you tomorrow, Otter?
We're at Dick's House Sport at the Mall of Louisiana on Bluebonnet tomorrow.
All right. Orlando and Denver on the hardwood. MLB, you got Minnesota Twins on the diamond, and then the Penguins on the ice. All right, Otter, good luck. Thank you.
All right, good luck.
All right, man. We'll see you tomorrow. It's after further review. Always love telling you about Evermore. Drink Evermore. Eat VAMOR. Evermore.com. Evermore.com. You see me drinking. I've been drinking the whole show. Being real with you, I got to go pee. I got to go pee. I drink so much Evermore every day. It's delicious. It's healthy. It's refreshing. It's hydrating. Look at the baby. Look at the baby. And drink Evermore. EVAMOR. Evermore.com. All right, Muse Polly, thanks. Y'all have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
Sincere gratitude to each and every one of you that voted and have named Parrish Construction and Roofing the winner of the 2026 Best of Baton Rouge Best Roofing Company from The Advocate. How about it, y'all? Come on, give me a little bit. Give me a little bat. So cool, man. We're very grateful. Earlier this year, we won the award for Best Roofing Company and the Best of Ascension, and now The Advocate's Best of Baton Rouge for 2026. Parrish Construction and Roofing, the best roofing company in the city. Tell you all the time to do business with someone you know, and we are sincerely grateful for everyone who has done just that and given us the opportunity, as we always say, to earn your business, whether it's commercial or residential, repairs, replacements, gutters, soft wash. We do it all over the state of Louisiana, but thanks so much for naming Parrish Construction and Roofing the Best of Baton Rouge winner for 2026. ParrishBuilt.com.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, we know each case and client are unique, and that no two cases are the same. But one thing remains constant, and that is our passion to help our clients. After an accident, we know your life has changed, which is why we passionately fight to make you and your family whole. Remember, whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. We're here to serve you.
Championships are won with preparation, and so are great roofs.
Coach is tough on us about preparation, and Parrish brings that same championship mindset.
Do business with someone you know. Parrish Construction and Roofing.
ParrishBuilt.com. If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has the new 25 Jeep Grand Cherokee with $15,000 off MSRP.
Plus the 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou vehicles.
If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs, set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free, confidential help now.